Hey, listener, thank you for pressing play. This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, the Hellboy reboot drops its first trailer. The Titans season finale on the DC Universe app teases a Robin versus Batman showdown.
Wowie zowie!
And Aquaman has made a bunch of money before it even opens in the U.S., but can it beat Mary Poppins at the box office? Plus, a full spoiler review of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, what Miles Morales comics to read after watching the movie, and a whole lot more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Wednesday, December 19th, 2018.
Check. Check one. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. Be shocking, be nerded. Be funny, disturbing. Be shocking, be nerded. Spoiler alert. Oh yeah. Be shocking, be nerded. Be funny, disturbing. Oh yeah. Be shocking, be nerded. Spoiler alert.
Yo, what's up, listener? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in this week, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV, and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose since March of 2015. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And that felty in a corner, that's Sir Ruggs, otherwise known as Rug Boy. What's up, Ruggs?
I don't know what I'm doing. I shouldn't be doing this. How can I do this? Oh, that was my Miles Morales impression.
Oh, is that your Miles Morales?
Oh,
is that?
yeah.
Oh, come on. You're spoiling your review already? Come on. What are you doing?
No, I'm
What are you
kidding. I'm
doing?
just kidding. I'm trying to upset our fans because they probably have huge geek boners right now.
I do not agree with that impersonation of the movie, Ruggs. You're oversimplifying things. Anthony, welcome back. They let you back into the country. That's good to see. Good for you.
Yeah, it's nice to be back.
Back from Vancouver.
Vancouver, Canada.
I want you to give us one good Vancouver story at the end of the show. That's how we'll close today. So stick around for that because it's going to be salacious. Salacious. If you are a new listener, check out the show notes for this episode. Visit jockandnerd.com/253 and you will find links to everything we're going to talk about, links to how to get in touch with the show and how to subscribe for free so you never miss a show. And why would you want to get in touch? Well, you can wish the Jock a happy birthday. Jock and Nerd. This is his birthday week.
Yes.
This is your first year of being 30 is complete, right?
Yeah, I'll be 31.
31. You're officially an adult.
On the Wednesday, the 26th. I'll be 31.
How was a whole year of adulting? How'd that go for you in the 30?
Did you have to take a class?
Yeah, they give you any tips?
I had one of my coworkers recently ask me, he's like, you're 30 now. How long are you going to keep this up where you keep partying like you're not 30?
It's a good question.
And I'm like, and I said, as long as I look the way I look now, which is like 22, I'll keep it rolling for a while.
Damn, Asian don't crack, people.
Yeah, you could probably get into your
40s,
early
50s.
40s. Yeah,
absolutely.
I hope. The only thing is the body does not recover the same way.
You know what I notice about skinny guys is that their bodies will stay really skinny, but then they'll get a double chin.
Really?
I don't know how and neck fat. I don't know how that happens.
Just the neck gets fat.
Yeah.
So they're like top heavy.
That's the dead giveaway.
Interesting. Anthony, you got to do CrossFit neck exercises.
You'll be ripped from the neck down. You can't do neck exercises. You can't do
You start flipping tractor tires with your neck.
That's why all guys over 40 have beards.
That's a good point, though.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd get neck fat. No, I can't. Not a good one.
Watch that neck. Do those little slappy things, you know? That you hit your thing and...
what, I slap women? What do you talking
slap
about?
the bottom of your... it's like from the old school 50s double chin
like
exercises.
You wrap like a gauze around it, like you have a toothache.
Yes, that's the
what
thing.
you do
Yes,
or like those ladies in Africa that extend their neck. Should I do that with the rings?
You might want to buy some neck rings. Yes, I think that may.
Neck extension.
Neck
so
extensions.
Then the fat just gets extended.
Yeah, you just smush it around.
If I get a gray pubic hair, that's when it's like,
no, that's over.
Yeah, that's when it's over.
We gotta raffle it when you find it.
just ferment it, just like my crazy beard. Anyways, look, to wish
You haven't done that yet.
I know it's not the New Year's.
I'm telling you, you guys got to do a makeover with him.
Our listener should wish Anthony a happy birthday. Makeover.
We're just gonna gloss over it. We won't talk about it.
Yeah, we were talking about prior to the. Well, is either show up post show or pre show Patreon, but you should check that out because we were talking about giving Imran a makeover.
A possibility of one for Patreon if you guys are into it.
Because Imran, I will say this, Imran. I mean, I'm sure you already could gather just by listening to him, but he dresses how he sounds, which is really lame.
Whoa!
Yeah, it's really bad how you dress, dude. It's not flattering at all.
I think he's fine. It's his character. He's like, look, Kevin Smith wears those fucking hockey jerseys and those shorts, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like,
he looks terrible too. Imran used to wear like button-down shirt tucked into his pants, his dress pants, and then like Skechers fucking gym shoes with white socks. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
I've given up caring long ago.
I mean, this is the guy that argued for the longest time that socks were not a real thing.
It's
You shouldn't be
unnecessary.
wearing socks.
well, that's laziness. I don't think that has anything to do with fashion.
No,
Part of it
that's
is
just Imran
laziness.
going, I like this. And
Listen,
that's fine.
sometimes I wake up and I put my clothes on and I'm like, I wonder what Anthony will say to this. Will this be Anthony? Will this be Anthony approved or Nate? And sometimes I know you're going to be like, that's horrible, and I don't give a fuck because I've just stopped caring. But sometimes I'm like, I don't think Anthony's going to like this. I'm going to see if I can get some
See,
brownie
I think
points
that
from
the
him.
fact is, like, I can't do anything about the way I look. Like,
Right.
you got a chance.
Yeah, I just don't give a fuck, honestly. What for why? I have a face.
First thing
I have
I
a
would
face
do
for
is shave your
podcasting.
head.
Look, if you want to donate to the Patreon, we may have a Jock and Nerd makeover. We'll film it. We'll be live on the YouTubes, on Facebook Live. Oh
I
boy,
guarantee you, this is people are gonna explode over this.
what can you do with a mess?
Especially Seth Morgan.
I'm such a mess that I don't even know if you could
I
make
feel like
me
Seth
over.
Morgan will like relate to you. He'll be like, "Oh, I'm sure I don't give a fuck either. I look like shit. Whatever. We're brothers, right? We're comrades. I love you, Imran. Don't you love me? We all love each other. Whatever.
can't-
Here's $10
look,
to the Patreon.
That would be great. I clean up pretty good sometimes when I have to. It's just every day. It's a lot of energy to put in.
You clean up okay.
Oh, fine, thanks. I'll take it. I'll take it.
You look fine when you put on a suit.
I step in the mirror.
But it could be better.
I got to pass the Anthony check every morning. And
Some of those
sometimes
fucking-
it doesn't pass. What are you going to
It's
do?
so brutal.
Some of those long sleeve pullovers you wear. Oh my god.
All right, look, I'm done taking abuse. Let's get to the fucking.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
This is all getting cut out.
The listeners out here for my horrible, unflattering wardrobe. They're here for geek news, and look, I'm fucking excited to talk about Spider-Man hardcore.
Geek
Oh,
boner.
there's going to be a lot of Spider-Man talk.
Yeah, you can see the title if you clicked on
But
the show.
before
so
we
you know
get
what's
to
going on.
that, let's talk about something. A couple of things that hit today. Number one is the first trailer to the Hellboy reboot,
Geek boner.
created by Mike Mignola's character, starring David Harbour, Mila Jovovich. This thing just dropped today. They put out a poster yesterday. Fellas, Anthony, what'd you think of this? Were you a fan of the first Hellboy? And how does this look? This is the R-rated reboot right here.
So was I a fan of the first Hellboy? Or the first two Hellboys?
Yes.
No. I've seen both of them.
Yes.
I could not tell you like really what happened in either of them.
Anthony.
I might have been too young and not into like the genre as much. But it just never hit for me. I was like, I don't really understand
I
this.
think Hellboy's better than Into the Spider-Verse, if you ask me.
Oh,
Wow.
shit.
Wow.
Oh shit.
But
Wow. But
yeah.
I don't really remember the 2004
Oh, it was 04.
Hellboy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it was like an adult, mature comic to begin with, and, you know,
I just didn't get it.
Yeah.
It didn't. And I probably should watch it again. Even if I watched it again, I might not like it.
okay.
No, you won't.
It's a great movie.
But so then I see this trailer and I'm like, he looks exactly the fucking same.
He does.
I don't know if they like
He has
were even
more
trying
hair.
to change him. I guess he's got more hair
Yeah.
and is he a little more comedic?
He's younger-ish and seems a little more comedic and R-rated.
Yeah. Other than that though, I'm like, and maybe people will say the same thing about like Spider-Man or Batman, but I'm like, why are we getting this again? I didn't. What's the demand for another Hellboy? Especially, and is it supposed to be a reboot?
It is a reboot. So it's starting over. I mean, he has.
I mean, it looked all right.
Yeah.
It looked like there were some funny moments, and he's like the monster to fight other monsters.
Yeah.
He's like this goofy ass fucking monster with a big hand. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Like, what are we getting this movie? Like, is this movie going to make a ton of money? I don't think so.
I don't think it's necessary either. But I mean, maybe a new generation will get it. I don't know. I mean, I feel like when you're trying to do something that Guillermo del Toro already did and did very well,
Right.
like there's really not a point. You had the perfect actor playing Hellboy. It was a great movie. It was fucking, the creature design was amazing in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the fucking Nazi dude with the fucking, that was like a dead with the knives. That guy was sick.
I gotta watch that again too. It's been a while since I've watched the Hellboy.
He's like, he cranks his heart and then he's got like machinery going on. He's fucking awesome. Like all of that shit was so original and not dumb. That fucking gigantic monster that comes out of the sky with that octopus arms and shit.
Oh, yeah.
That shit was fucking incredible.
Yeah. Well, don't you like the big monsters here? They kind of show you at the end of this trailer. I kind of like what they're doing.
They're fine.
That part.
They're fine, but like, I mean, there's no reason to do this movie again unless you're basically pouring more money into it to make it a bigger effects thing. That
was that the first Hellboy R-rated?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I don't remember.
So they can go darker and more adult with this. And
the thing is about the first Hellboy and both of them is, even at that time, I remembered like the effects seemed like were awesome. Like there was a lot of it seemed like a lot of awesome makeup jobs and a lot of like real stuff on screen. Whereas this one, I mean, he looks good. Don't get me wrong, but I can tell some of the stuff is definitely CGI, and I'm like, maybe they did it better back then.
They used a lot more practical effects. That was Guillermo del Toro didn't want to spend like a shitload of money on this movie. I mean, he definitely spent money on it, but it wasn't like $200 million.
He's good with practical effects also.
Yeah.
Like if you look at his creature designs.
He loves practical.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he's just got a way of doing things, the atmosphere and stuff, and everything is just so much care is put into it. So I'd say there's no what they're doing this is to make it more of a spectacle, right? They're doing like the Spider-Man Homecoming version of Hellboy. They're making him fun and hip and blah blah blah, and adding a lot of effects. You know, they're just trying to, spin it to a new audience.
I mean, it's a nice action horror, vibe, and maybe it gives them a new franchise.
Deadpool-y, I would say.
It's a little,
I would say Hellboy pool.
As far as David Harbour as Hellboy, I think you kind of have to be similar to the Ron Perlman Hellboy, and it is similar in a lot of ways, but that's also the character. I like the comedy in it, and I like kind of the darkness and. But it does seem unnecessary now they talk about it. Like, why? It looks cool.
Like, if
coming out in April.
To tell the origin again, you don't need to do that either.
It's very British, this one also, I noticed. Yeah. So this one is directed by Neil Marshall, who's done a lot of TV. He's done a lot of good TV.
He is a great... He does Game of Thrones.
Yes. Yeah. Written by Andrew Cosby. David Harbour playing Hellboy, but you got Mila Jovovich. Ian McShane, who I love, who's also been on Game of Thrones. Thomas Hayden Church, Daniel Day Kim, you see him in there. And who else is in this? That's all the big names. So, yeah, I don't know. A lot of people are waiting for just to see how David...
I'll definitely watch it when it comes out.
I was just curious to see how David Harbour compares to the Perlman Hellboy. But he looks good. I like his attitude.
He seemed a little more like goofier compared to like Ron Perlman.
He's younger.
Ron Perlman was like a wise ass.
Right.
This one
was like a grumpy asshole.
He's not as grumpy. He's a
this
little
one
more...
was more like, this like, I don't know. He just kind of had like a more of a carefree.
You see the BPRD logo and all that. But yeah, it's kind of British.
I don't know. I just love Del Toro so much. So.
Well, everything Guillermo does has got, amazing aesthetics to it. So it's said that it's not him, but we'll see. It's probably not going to make a lot of money. Coming out 2019.
But Neil Marshall's nothing to sneeze at either. So let's see.
Yeah, he's directed a lot of
he's no Guillermo del Toro, but he could be one day.
Television. Yeah. Look, listener, let us know if you're a Hellboy fan and what you like about Hellboy. Join our awesome Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. It's closed. It's exclusive. It's just for you guys, for us. Chop it up with all of our geeky degenerate listeners. They are hilarious and great. Shout out to the nation. Let's move on to this other huge thing that dropped today that everyone was waiting. What is this going to look like? And it comes to us from Entertainment Weekly. It's our first look at Guy Ritchie's live action Aladdin.
Oh, shit.
And you,
shit.
and you get a good look at Will Smith as the genie.
It's been a bad week for Will Smith.
Wait, what else happened to Will Smith this week?
Oh, he was in the YouTube Rewind.
What's that?
It's like when YouTube, it's basically like a puff piece that like brags about how great YouTube is this year and all their creators and shit.
Oh, right, yes.
And they put Will Smith in the beginning of it. Like he was like the guy, I guess, ushering it in.
Okay.
So memes all over the place because that didn't go over well with the YouTube people, with the YouTube audience.
What was wrong with that?
Because YouTube is basically, they changed their algorithm to, I guess, appease advertisers.
Uh-huh.
So, like, all the people that really watch YouTube are not getting monetized anymore,
Right,
but the most popular people are not being represented there because they're controversial.
Right.
Like PewDiePie,
Right.
for example, is like the biggest draw on YouTube.
Sure.
But they didn't acknowledge him.
Oh, snap. And they put Will Smith in instead.
Yeah, but Will Smith's doing well, too. But I mean, he's not PewDiePie by any stretch of the imagination. So, because PewDiePie's done, like, stuff that has been construed as racially insensitive or like anti-Semitic or whatever. But
they demonetized a lot of his shit.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, so they use Will Smith as obviously the brunt of it because he's like this huge celebrity, and they're just like, okay, well, this guy, of course, he's a huge celebrity, comes on YouTube, but like a guy who built the whole thing up from the ground up and carried YouTube for years, gets shit on because he has unpopular opinions or whatever.
Well, I mean, I've heard these stories, a lot of YouTube creators for a while now.
So they were making memes of Will Smith now. That's basically, they used him.
Okay.
So now, like, they responded by memeing the shit out of Will Smith.
So he's a meme, and now, Anthony, Aladdin's your jam. This is your age. I loved Aladdin, too. I love the soundtrack.
Aladdin's my jam.
Jam, like Space Jam. What do you think of this Will Smith as the genie? He just looks like he's wearing a bad Halloween costume.
Yeah, I mean, the Will Smith as the genie does look pretty fucking ridiculous.
Are you looking at the blue version or the regular version?
So
regular version.
There's a blue version. So apparently, like
there's a blue version?
He's not blue, and apparently in the movie he will be blue with CGI, I guess. But he's also, there's like a human form of him. Is that what it is, Ruggs?
I don't know. I thought that somebody fucking photoshopped it.
Boss Logic made a blue version, but
I don't think he's going to be blue.
No, in his post, Boss Logic said Will Smith has commented that the genie will be CGI and blue, and this is his human form, but I don't know what to believe. But yeah, anyways.
Huh. I mean,
what the fuck?
Seeing Will Smith look like Sinbad is pretty fucking hilarious.
He does look like Sinbad. It's the Fresh Prince of Aladdin.
I mean, Aladdin, this is going to make a ton of money too, so it really doesn't fucking matter. I mean, it's cool to see like a very diverse cast.
Yeah.
I don't know who these people are, but it's nice to see it.
I thought they would do like a mocap like Thanos with his face on a genie CGI genie.
I mean, that's what everyone's talking about right now is Will Smith as the fucking genie.
Ruggs, what do you make?
I can't really judge this until I see the movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just seeing pictures. So the only thing I can really comment on is cool. Like, wait, let me look at it one more time. Okay. Dude playing Aladdin.
Yeah.
To me, doesn't look like Aladdin, but Aladdin was a fucking cartoon.
Yeah.
The girl playing Jasmine, one of my friends commented that Jasmine was hotter, and I responded to her, Jasmine wasn't a real person. It was a cartoon.
People.
So again, like I don't really. It's tough to like be like, oh, that's quintessential Aladdin or Jasmine because
I mean, the Lion King.
They were a cartoon.
It looks like a lion.
Lion King, like that looks like a lion. Like, but like everyone has like their perception of how Aladdin should look and how Jasmine should look because the way Disney drew them, they made them basically Western-looking people with gigantic eyes that just happen to be brown.
Simba is cuter in the movie, in the cartoon. That's all I know. Ruggs, do you think, so what, you can't really judge this, but do you think this is just his human form and I
don't really give a shit about what form he is. It's fucking Will Smith no matter what, you know?
How can you just not see Will Smith? That's what I'm...
Yeah.
Robin Williams was so good in that role. And
Yeah, but he's dead. So
and
we
you
gotta do
can't-
something.
I mean, if you're gonna, it's fun. It's kind of funny. Like Will Smith
Who
is
else you
Aladdin.
got? Patton Oswalt?
Yeah.
Like, who did
Who
you
else
put
you gotta
as
put
the
in there?
genie?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But this
Dane Cook?
this is-
Like, what else
this
is
is
he going to
Dane
be?
Cook as the genie would be great. No, I mean, of course, it's gonna make
Kevin Hart?
gonna
No,
make
it's got to be Will Smith, I
shitloads
guess.
of money.
Oh shit.
Kevin Hart's
Where
too
does
small.
Aladdin rank in the Disney Renaissance films?
I mean, I think it was it's part of like the second
I actually
wave.
saw that in the theater.
Yeah, it's the
I did
second
too.
wave of when
No, I'm saying, but like because the wave was like what Little
Little
Mermaid,
Mermaid, right? Lion
Lion
King,
King, Aladdin,
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast,
Beauty and
and then-
the Beast,
Yeah, they're-
and then you could probably throw in like Pocahontas, Mulan.
Yeah, they were on a roll
yeah.
where not only the soundtracks would hit like top 100
But
billboards
they were
of the
actually
movie,
making like movies that were making a ton of money, and
Yeah.
like, that was the new Disney
right?
Renaissance.
Yeah.
So where's this ring? Where's Aladdin ring? I'll tell you. Okay, I'll let me answer
Okay.
it first. For me, Lion King was always number one.
Okay.
Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and then I would throw Aladdin.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Hmm.
Well,
I don't know. That's hard.
well, I'm protesting Lion King.
Why?
Why?
Did you hear about this?
No.
Now
What?
people are saying that Hakuna Matata
What is that?
shouldn't
What?
be appropriated by Disney.
Oh, fuck
Is
off.
it-
Isn't that that's not a made up word?
I don't know.
What?
I don't know what it is.
Because they're
but this is
using.
the shit that I keep hearing.
What the
Man,
Every time I go to Twitter, I hear another stupid thing. Or I
You
read
do.
another stupid thing.
That's why I stay away from Twitter.
Yeah,
Isn't
don't do
You
it.
have
It's
you
bad.
have your head to the pavement of the shit.
Isn't that a made up
just
word
comes
to
to me.
begin with?
It just comes to me.
Jesus.
Find the link for that.
Don't please.
You find the link. All right, look.
What was your?
Well, I think my opinion, like the Lion King wasn't one that I gravitated towards.
No. Okay.
I like the Lion King, but I just don't like talking animals. I guess I don't know. I like people that talk. I guess so. I would say I did see Aladdin in the theaters, and I like Beauty and the Beast, and I like Little Mermaid.
That's the thing.
think
I
that's
liked them
the-
all. Little Mermaid, I thought was great. Beauty and the Beast, when they showed you like the first CG.
Like I know
with
all the songs
Yes,
to Little Mermaid,
but I love Aladdin. Like the Aladdin soundtrack, I think I listened to the most out of all of them.
Here are the movies that are considered part of the Disney Renaissance.
Okay.
From 1989 to 99.
Yep.
Little Mermaid, The Rescuers Down Under,
Oh shit, I forgot about it.
Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Hercules, Mulan, Tarzan.
See, it definitely falls off towards the end.
yeah,
though.
I like Mulan. Mulan's one of my favorite ones too.
Was 98.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, for me, Hercules and Tarzan, I don't.
I think
ever
it peaked
even think
in
of.
'92 with Aladdin. That little section of movies.
So after Aladdin was Lion King and Pocahontas.
Oh, maybe after Lion King. Pocahontas
yeah.
is still there.
Lion King bookended
Lion
it. I
King
think.
was the
Pocahontas was an appropriated story, right?
Well,
That was something
Yeah.
that they stole from someone.
it's all
Wasn't
stolen.
that-
It's all either Hans Christian Andersen or Brothers Grimm fairy tales or fucking shit from other
U.S.
people.
history or
Or
whatever.
history,
Yeah, I
or
guess that's US
whitewashed,
history.
like polished up history as Disney does. It's all stolen shit, people. They didn't write any of this, so
Right.
just don't
I
think.
got
that-
I got Aladdin third in my Red Disney.
I
Renaissance.
think out of those, like I think Aladdin to me spoke to me the most because I really
Of
I love
course.
that soundtrack,
Although I think Aladdin for me
and I love Robin Williams.
has the best song
Yes,
ever.
yes.
Whole New World is the best song.
I mean, Robin Williams as Genie is comedic fucking brilliance. You really can't get better. There's nothing in those other movies like that. Think
No,
about it.
no, I mean, Lion King had the fucking warthog.
Yeah.
But I guess he wasn't. He was not as funny as Robin
not
Williams.
Robin Williams, man. And to me, the jokes sold it. I was like, I was just blown over by his fucking rapid fire comedy jokes. It was great.
Whole New World, best song.
Okay,
ever.
so Ruggs just sent the article.
Oh shit.
Petition calls on Disney to drop Hakuna Matata trademark. What the
Why?
fuck? Okay. The phrase, which roughly translates to no problems or no worries, and is a common expression in parts of Eastern and Southern Africa,
So
is perhaps
okay, good.
best known as a song in Disney's 1994 hit movie.
So it's okay for you to
Lion
trademark, just do it, which is people say shit that all the time too, but you just can't trademark it if it's from some other
I did
country.
not know that they trademark. Oh, they're calling on Disney to relinquish. I didn't know they trademarked that expression the same year. Man, okay, that's a little.
So what?
That's a little tricky there.
Well, if they trademarked it, good for them.
If you say just do it, you could trademark that. And no one
Right.
can use it except for Nike. That's fucking language every person uses. And you could trademark that. So why? I don't understand. That's just fucking weird, if you ask me. I don't think there's anything wrong with it at all.
That's it. They're calling it plundered
Why
artwork.
would you automatically go, well, are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, I guess unless they're like being, for lack of a better term, Nazis about it and saying to people in Africa, don't say Hakuna Matata.
Well, I'm just saying, like...
No, I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you, Ruggs.
Oh. Well, you mean you're talking about that they can't say it? I don't know. They can't use it
Well, I mean, there is
on their
like this,
shirts or something?
There was something I saw, and I'm totally speaking somewhat out of my ass, but there was this American company, I think it's Aloha Eats, that was under a lot of fire because they trademarked Aloha Eats or Aloha something. It might not be Aloha Eats, but Aloha something. And they were basically suing a lot of Hawaiian businesses for using Aloha something, whatever it was, and making money off them.
I don't think
but I don't think Disney's doing that with Hakuna Matata.
Well, Hawaii is America.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
I think it's up. I don't think that America should be able to sue another country over using it because...
Yeah, I don't think they are able to. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't think that should work.
And so what? They trademarked Hakuna Matata. If someone in Africa trademarked "Go fuck yourself," I'd be like, okay, cool.
Good for them. They put it on a t-shirt.
They did it.
I make "Go fuck yourself" shirts. Okay, it's my job.
I see.
Okay?
That'll be on TeePublic next month.
Why are we talking about this?
I don't know.
Okay, look, no, I understand. I read the whole article.
This is a good
It's
point.
just people, of course, on social media blowing things out of proportion.
Being very mad
It's
about
not
that
like
we
you
appropriated
can't-
the phrase.
People in Africa can't still use the
But,
phrase.
but this is the thing that I want to point out is that we're just going through the show notes.
Yes.
And everything that we talk about
Yes.
has a fucking
There's
firestorm
a
behind it.
and it's just people blowing shit.
It's like you can't even talk
can't.
about fucking anything.
No, but and it's just stupid, and it's people blowing stupid shit out of proportion. Do better stuff with your lives. What is going on? Okay, let's move on to this next trailer. This one's a little crazy. The first season of Titans on the DC Universe, or Titans, as I like to call it.
Well, from last week's,
We talked about Titans in last week's Patreon post show. Season 1 finale will be out by the time this show posts. Right now, we have this trailer, and what we have in this trailer,
let me ask
something crazy. Yes.
Let me ask you guys before we talk about the trailer,
Yes.
and I don't need a long answer, just a quick. Is the show any good?
Rugs?
Kinda sometimes.
I'll take it. I think it's gotten better.
Okay. Is it still as violent as fuck?
Oh, fuck yeah. And
All right.
there's
And is the violence over the top and not appropriate to the characters?
Yes.
Sometimes it works to serve the story, but sometimes it's just super violent. And they swear so much unnecessarily, and there's some boobies.
All right, I already have a read on how the. I mean, I saw the first episode, but I have a
We
read
saw
on how this
Minka
went.
Kelly almost buck-ass naked last episode.
Oh,
It's
no
totally
kidding.
worth it to watch.
She
that.
was naked. She was just in
She was
shadow.
naked, heavily deep
I gotta
shadowed,
look-
but
I gotta look up who Minka
Kelly
is.
that wasn't bad. And then you saw Hawkman's man ass.
Oh,
also.
Minka Kelly.
Yeah, she's played Dove. So the last episode was like a Hawk and Dove.
Everyone drink.
Yeah.
Wow, she's
Anthony's
hot.
looking at it.
We are now
Girl, I'm
everyone
into
drink.
that.
We are distracted by Minka Kelly pictures.
It's social.
Oh, she was the girl in 500 Days of Summer. No fucking kid. No fucking way. Man, she went.
She's cute in the
Her
show.
career went downhill.
I like her in the show as
She's on Tittins.
She's on
Now
Tittins.
she's on Tittins?
Boy, she's on Tittins, and so are her Tittins.
10 years later.
Anyways, before we get more
She's like
distracted,
38 years old, Anthony.
That's
She's
true.
8 years older than you.
I'd still.
She's pushing 40.
the
Yeah.
season finale promo, which if you
She's cute. Go ahead.
watch this trailer, appears to me to give us something that Gotham couldn't do, that the Arrowverse couldn't do. Is this the first live action TV Batman since Adam West?
Oh shit.
Rug boy, am I right about that? It looks like we're going to get a TV Batman again.
Well, yeah. I mean, Birds of Prey had a Batman in it.
Oh snap! You're right.
Oh, there you go.
But this one, look, you see him in shadow, you see the back of him, you see him in silhouette. Do you think from this trailer, you see him, and he's super violent? This is a fucking violent ass Batman.
I mean, if the guy has lines and he
That's
has
my
like
question.
dialogue without the cowl
Yes.
on, then we do.
That's my question. Does he have lines? The title of this episode is like Robin versus Batman. Dick is saying things like, you wanted me to become like you, a murderer, and I have to stop you. Costume-wise, he's got the long ears. The cowl reminds me of like my 89 Tim Burton cowl.
It's like the video game version.
Yes, because then he has the armor kind of plating. There's even a shot in the middle. The camera's pulling back, and you see a body on a car like it fell from a roof, and it's a guy in a purple suit with green hair.
Oh, shit.
They mentioned that he's killed the Joker. Jason Todd is in a wheelchair. Wow, this is crazy. What is going on? I'm super...
I think it's a swerve.
I'm wondering if he's going to have lines, because he's in this trailer a lot, and he's beating up SWAT members and just violently taking them out. I'm kind of excited, but shit.
Of course you're excited.
It's one of those things. It's just like watching Gotham. It's like you're watching it knowing this has fucking nothing to do with anything that you've ever read before and will probably never matter in the grand scheme of things.
And will we see Batman on this season of Gotham? So by the time this show posts, all the episodes will be out. You can binge the whole thing if you have the DC universe.
It's a throwaway. Watch it.
It's a throwaway. Hey, but it's
like a weird. It reminded me of like this weird Elseworlds tale where Batman's going off the deep end, and this is just
it's a throwaway.
Why
is
he fucking killing people right and left? What happened? And Robin's gonna stop him?
I mean, it's kind of a gimmick. Robin versus Batman.
What does this get you to tune in, Anthony?
No, yeah. I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of Titans the first time I saw it.
Bro, it gets a little bit better. The next show we're gonna get.
I'm watching it. I didn't think I'd be watching it, but I watch it.
Here's the only thing because having only watched the first episode and now this trailer for the last one.
Yeah.
Robin's talking about like how brutal Batman is, and I'm like, I just saw the episode where Robin takes someone's face and grinds it against the wall and grinds it against like broken glass. Like, what?
But throughout the season, he talks about how Batman has made him this way, which is why he had to leave and get away.
Yeah, but it still sucks, Imran.
Yeah, whatever. The next...
It'd be more meaningful if Robin was like this guy that kept holding back his anger but kept doing like the right thing and not stepping on people's faces.
He does a lot more than that.
So he's just as brutal.
And he banged Starfire.
Hey, good for him.
Yeah. And
he did?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're a thing. They're sleeping together.
She's a thing?
Yeah.
They're sleeping together?
He also banged Minka Kelly's hawk. They have a history the past. Not in the show.
Her hawk or her?
Dove, sorry. Her. Dove.
I think Robin's banged every girl on the show except for
except for Raven, who's a teenager.
You don't see him do it.
Yeah.
This is all like in backstory.
It's implied. Oh, Donna Troy shows up, and I think they had a history too. Yeah. The Donna Troy stuff was good. It's Wonder Girl, and she's got some power set there. But we'll see what happens. The next show after this show ends, the Young Justice season 3 will start in January, and then Doom Patrol live action starts in February.
Interesting.
I have some good news about the DC Universe app. We've complained that it's not in enough places. Well, they've just released it in one more place. Here's what happened. The wife bought us an early Christmas present, a 49-inch Toshiba TV from Best Buy. It was super cheap. We're like, fuck, just get it. We need a bigger TV. This is a Toshiba Fire TV. And I was like, So basically the OS is like Amazon Fire Stick. Like that controls the thing. You can still plug in your cable, PlayStation, other things, whatever. But then I was like, I went to the App Store. I was like, is the DC Universe app on here? And it fucking was. And just the next day, today, they put out a press release saying DC Universe is available now on the Fire TV family of devices. So I watched some of this and I read comics on the 49-inch screen. It was really fucking cool though to see it that big. So if you have a Fire TV or you see one on sale, I like it. It's a good TV. It's got everything on there.
Way ahead of you, Emma.
You have the Fire TV already?
No, I got the sticks.
Oh, you got the stick, so it should be on the Fire Stick too. Yeah. You go to the App Store.
Fire Stick is better than Roku, huh?
I don't know. I don't like. I never
the same shit.
I never tried a Roku.
I've never tried the Roku either, but they are kind of all Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick. It's all kind of the same.
Fire Sticks like fucking cost nothing.
Yeah, it's like $50, $30 to $50.
And
you can just you can put it in the like you can retrofit your older TV with a Fire
Stick.
Stick.
Just needs an HDMI in.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Yeah,
and
it works pretty good. I mean, is it the fastest thing on available? No, but
because it's
fine.
Wi-Fi. You're going to connect it to your Wi-Fi network, and it pulls it.
The YouTube's a little bit wonky, but other than that, it's really good.
And you get all your fucking streaming apps.
You get Netflix,
Yeah.
Hulu, Amazon Prime, of course, if you sign in and tie it to your Amazon
I am
account.
the absolute worst at technology in terms of keeping
Fucking,
up.
what kind of fucking millennial? You're not a
I know,
Snapchat,
I'm
and
not
that's
a real
about
millennial.
it. That's all.
I don't even use Snapchat
Not
anymore.
anymore?
It's all about Instagram story.
Oh, shit.
Whoa,
Right.
Anthony, he's telling me,
A gram.
telling everyone the advice.
Yeah. get
When you're
off the Snapchat.
31,
Get off the
when you,
Snappies.
Although-
you get off the Snapchat and you go on the Instagram.
Although messaging on Snapchat, that's where it's
Well,
at.
that's still a
because-
thing?
Because the messages get deleted, and if they don't get deleted, you know that that fucker kept the message.
Oh, I see.
So all you players out there, message your girls on Snapchat
Good tip.
or your boys.
Yeah. Good tip from the jock.
Yeah.
Good game tip.
All right.
All right.
Jesus Christ.
Another
this show
thing
is
that
gonna
will be out
3 hours long.
when this show posts is Aquaman.
Geek boner.
It would be out in the U.S. finally. It's already been out in China international markets since early this month. And guess what? It's making a shit ton of money. It's already made about $266 million
Oh shit.
internationally before even
Wow.
opening in the U.S. Rotten Tomatoes, the movies went down.
It's
at
gone down.
67%, 6 out of 10
6 out of
average
10
rating.
Yeah, so it's not unanimously liked.
And there's one post-credit scene early in the credits, and that's it. This is all very interesting because the box office fight here is going to be a three-way fight between the Mary Poppins Returns, the Bumblebee, and the Aquaman. So Aquaman, 67% Rotten Tomatoes. Mary Poppins Return, 79% Rotten Tomatoes. All right. Bumblebee, 93% on Rotten
That sounds so high. that It
Tomatoes.
can't be true.
And I heard mixed reviews about Bumblebee, but Anthony, you were
I've
excited
heard nothing
about
about good things
Really?
about Bumblebee. Yeah, I've heard it's the the best. I mean, that's not a high bar to clear, but it's actually a good Transformers movie.
it. Looks like a good, charming.
It seems very charming.
Yeah, first Transformers movie, and they look like they got car parts. And Haley Steinfeld, who we'll talk about, was in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. She's got songs out. She's very hot and cute and fits the part. Takes place in the past, in the 80s.
John Cena?
John Cena is in it as, what is he? Isn't he like the president or something?
No,
Oh, he's
like
a general.
Like he's like a soldier type.
So,
Bad soldier.
Ruggs, who do you think wins the box office here opening
What
weekend?
about Mary Poppins is on Tomatoes?
Mary
Did you
Poppins
say that?
is 79. So in between.
And what's the average critic?
7.3 out of 10. Bumblebee average is Bumblebee is at 93%, but the average rating is 7.1 out of 10 out of 90 reviews. So there's a little discrepancy there. So they're all about 7-ish, except for Aquaman that's at 6.
Box office
Who win?
Mojo
Yeah.
is predicting
Who wins this?
Aquaman will win.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds like a decent bet. I think it'll be a tie almost. It'll be so close.
With Mary Poppins?
yeah.
Mary Poopins?
Yeah. I feel like how much money is out there for the weekend? Well, about 150 million,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you take the 150 million, you think that you split it 3 ways, right?
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
And then you give the advantage to Aquaman. It's probably going to get the lion's share of it, and Bumblebee's going to get the lower end of it. So
I mean, this could hurt one of these movies from making 100
What
million.
they're saying, I mean, this is all prediction. Aquaman, 3-day, 70 to 80.
Okay.
If you go 5-day
Yeah.
with Thursday to Monday,
100?
or no, Friday to Monday, Tuesday, which is Christmas Eve, 110, 125.
Wow. Okay.
Mary Poppins would be, they're saying this is more of a long-term play. So 3 days should be about 33
Oh.
mil. They're looking at a long-term 7-day performance because it came out, I think, on the 19th.
Yeah.
So today,
Yeah. Comes out
we're
today.
recording,
Yeah.
around 55 to 65 over 7, which is not as high. But that still would be good for them. And then they're saying Bumblebee would be a 26 million 3-day and a 40 to 45 million 5-day opening.
Yeah. I mean, I think I agree. I think it sounds like Aquaman will just edge it out.
So it'd be Aquaman,
Mary
they
Poppins.
all sound like
Bumblebee,
reasonable numbers.
Mary
Yeah.
Poppins,
And then Bumblebee.
but who knows? I would have. So I personally, my choice of viewing would be Aquaman, Bumblebee, Mary Poppins
In that order.
in that order. And I probably won't see Mary Poppins
Right.
in
I think
theaters.
Mary Poppins probably least.
Bumblebee, I will try to make an effort to see.
I still kind of want to see
Aquaman, I'm seeing tomorrow.
fucking the Deadpool movie, but I'm running out of time. So I don't think that's going to
No
happen.
one wanted to see it.
No.
By the way, no one even talk about that at all.
Nobody's talking about that, and I saw some stories that saying like it wasn't worth it and it didn't really work.
Exactly, like I said.
So, but I have to see it for myself to make that decision. I don't know.
It's totally not worth it.
Meanwhile, this movie, Mortal Engines, that we briefly talked about last week, huge steampunk fantasy adventure, budget of just over $100 million. It makes $7.5 million.
I could have told you it was going to make no money.
Opening weekend.
So I don't even know what this movie is.
It's going to lose $100 million.
But how do they not know, the studio guys not know that this is not going to play? And not to invest shitloads of money into it.
It's based on a book series by this guy Philip Reeve. It's
Peter
big fucking
Jackson.
deal.
produced
So is everything.
and co-written by Peter Jackson. So
Doesn't matter.
no, they really missed the mark. CGI spectacle. There's no names in this. There's nothing really. The trailers didn't really tell you what it was about. You were just like, oh, cool giant buildings with giant wheels and shit. And I think the marketing fucked up, and nobody knows about this movie.
And that's exactly why they do stuff like Ghost in the Shell, where they put like a big star in the movie.
Right, you need a name
to be a lightning rod, because no one's gonna care.
Oh, and nobody did. So
and then people shit on it.
Yeah.
But like whatever, that's why they do it. So at least you notice that it's coming out.
I saw some marketing for it, but I never knew what the fuck was going on or what it was about.
Exactly. Universal did not do a good job marketing this movie.
There's no reason to care.
No, there's it just looks cool, but I could see that in the video game at home. So yeah, what am I gonna do? The last thing in the news, the Godzilla posters have been released with all four of them? All individual character posters, and I gotta say, they're pretty beautiful. Anthony, you did have your Patreon Godzilla review, which is pretty cool. But how excited are you for Godzilla King of the Monsters? And are you more excited for this than Avengers Endgame?
No, I'm not more
Oh,
excited
no?
for this.
Okay.
No. But I am excited. The posters look good. It's pretty good,
The
actually.
scale of the monsters compared to the planes is amazing. I love
and
that.
you can see Rodan they all look good. I like the color schemes.
Yeah.
I like that they're embracing the fire for Rodan.
The monochrome colors, yeah.
Mothra is okay. I never really thought of like the teal as Mothra's thing.
What's
but
Mothra's color to you?
like a yellow.
Okay.
Like a yellow or
That's
a red.
Ghidorah.
More like a yellow. But then Ghidorah gets into the yellow gold.
Yeah.
And then Godzilla being blue, I guess that kind of is all right. But overall, they're good posters. And I have seen the stuff online with people inserting other kaiju into these posters.
Oh, really?
And it's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah, they're just announcing
Other characters.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this has been confirmed.
It's
And it's not, but like people are just making posters and fandom. Godzilla fandom's so funny because they're just crazy. They're just nuts. They'll argue over the stupidest shit. I love it.
What do you think of these
It's
posters?
entertaining as fuck.
Bugs, what do you think of the posters?
The posters are good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's they're giving you enough to get you excited. They have to figure out how they're gonna make this tantric for 6 months before you get to splooge. You're like it's like you gotta wait such a long time.
And trying to get around Avengers Endgame.
You'll notice too in the posters, and like Rodan's poster, he's obviously chasing those planes because he's got his claws out. Mothra, it looks like she's
with
flying
them.
with the helicopters.
Yeah.
Mothra's a she. By the
It's
way.
a she. Sorry.
King Ghidorah looks like menacing over these.
They're going
fighter
by
planes.
him.
Yeah, and then
across.
Godzilla is obviously a friend with the kid.
With
there.
Millie. Yeah, you got Millie
So it
Bobby
looks like
Brown down
Godzilla
there.
and Mothra are being paired as good guys, and King Ghidorah obviously is a bad guy. Rodan is being positioned as a bad guy, but if you know Godzilla movies, Rodan eventually jumps on the good side.
How many
too.
kaiju do you think are actually in this movie? Are we talking 6, 5, 4? We know 4.
From the trailer, 6 probably.
6,
at least.
right?
I kind of spoiled myself when I read it.
Uh-oh.
Oh no!
And I read this fucking supposed detailed plot synopsis.
Uh-huh.
Now, I'm dubious on it because some of the stuff didn't really add up, but like, if this shit happens like what I read, oh my God, it's going to be fucking amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm always pretty dubious on Reddit because I've read like 2 or 3 things where they've said they've spoiled Marvel stuff, like 4chan. And I read it, I'm like, this is fucking amazing, and it's not at all
Did any
true.
of that stuff ever come true? I remember we were
The 4chan Spider-Man Homecoming thing was completely false.
completely wrong.
He was talking about Vulture mutating other people into vultures.
Oh, really?
yeah,
Ugh.
that's how the main thing was.
That's not it.
And that even that like spoiler for the Avengers trailer,
Yeah.
not true at all. The fourth trailer.
Oh, so you read a spoiler for that and it was different?
Yeah, like it ended with like Godzilla talking like or not Godzilla. Incredible Hulk talking like a normal person, being like, "I'm ready for my rematch against Thanos."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People are just making shit up.
People make shit up. I don't know.
Godzilla's going to be in Avengers?
Oh, shit.
That would be awesome.
He is in the Marvel universe.
He is in the Marvel. Yeah.
They made Marvel comics
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
I have it. I have number 1.
They have, oh, you do? I wonder if
do.
that's worth the money.
It's not worth it.
Wilson,
No, it's not.
this movie looks great. I can't wait. Before we take a break, I have kind of a big announcement here. We are part of a new podcast network. We are part of the Danger Entertainment Network.
Talking nerd.
You can find them at dangerentertainment.net. And basically what happened, Michael Leah, one of the guys who runs this, and he does the podcast on here, Who the What Now, sent me an email. They were looking for podcasts, and he said we were suggested by many people. And I was like, oh, cool. And so he reached out. He's like, you want to be part of the network? So, I did what I always do in situations that regard the show. I didn't ask you guys what you thought, and I just said yes.
Sounds like a good plan.
Sounds like it's just another place you can find us. The other great podcasts on this network are Who the What Now, Green Up, The History of Bad Ideas, Dark Angels and Pretty Freaks, Graphic Novice, Snake Oil Comics, Gotham Lights, Danger Club, Pittsburgh Nerd, The Salty Language Podcast, and Besotted Geek. I've played some promos of some of these shows.
365 Flicks is on
And
there.
I think, they're on there too? I didn't see them.
Jesus
That's right.
Christ.
I just clicked the top one.
No, you can click on
Oh,
movies.
365 Flicks is also on there. So we are buddies with...
It's okay. Kevin Howland sucks.
Shit.
Oh,
We're
shit.
friends with some of these.
Damn.
We know some of these people. Thanks for having us, Danger Entertainment Network. Check it out. Link in the show notes. And then I got to shout out all the other networks that we're kind of associated with, part of. Check out these sites for great independent geek podcasts and other podcasts. A place to hang your cape. The Weeby Geeks Network, Tangent Bound Network, The Lounge Network, and Blazing Caribou Studios, where I do 2 other shows, Trivia Geeks, so trivia game show, and a show called Sketching Comedy. Visit these geek websites. I'll put all these links in the show notes. You'll find fun shows. In fact, listener, Trivia Geeks new season is starting up in the beginning of the year, and we are looking for some guests. You can come on. There's a team captain. It's a lot of fun. If you have a nice microphone and you have a good room to record in and a wired-in computer, I'll put a link in the show notes where you can just sign up to a slot for Trivia Geeks. It's a lot of fun, guys. Okay, quick break. I'm going to play some promos, and we'll be back to geek out about the Spider-Verse right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll get you back to your podcasty goodness now in a minute.
First, we'd like to take a second to tell you about our marginally better podcast, the 365 Flicks podcast.
I am the Scottish Whedon whore Chris,
And I am the Pissy X video store clerk, Kev.
and we bring you the latest movie and TV news, reviews, and rants.
All that and a bunch of top 5s that you really will not care about.
Subscribe to us on iTunes, Libsyn, and all other third-party podcasting apps.
And on top of all that, you'll get free access to our indie talk. You'll hear us speaking with directors, producers, actors, comic book creators, and artists about their experiences.
Don't forget to drop us 5 stars and follow us on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
Told him not to go in the water.
Rising from the depths of a state called Michigan, 2 inebriated dorks prepare their plan for intergalactic domination. Mixing their extensive knowledge of geek culture with their insatiable thirst for alcohol, these 2 man-children bring you a show like you've never heard before. It will tell you tales from faraway lands and have you questioning their taste in beer. But make no mistake, friend, for the best coverage of your favorite comics, films, and TV shows, there's no better source for you to get your fix. So listen up, strap in, and prepare yourself as Jake and Tom conquer the world.
This is Jason Mewes, and for reasons best left between you and your therapist, you're listening to the Jock and Nerd Podcast. Snooch to the nooch.
Jock and Nerd.
Funky. Hey, listener, if you've been enjoying the show, if you're having fun hanging out with us, you should join our fan club. Just visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you could support the show and you get access to bonus content, hours and hours and hours of more bullshit and silliness. For example, this week, the Patreon member will have already heard all 3 of our instant reactions to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Geek boner.
Did Rug Boy like the movie? If you signed up to our fan club, you already know. But we're gonna tease it out just a little bit more.
What about the Jock Talk?
And there's a new episode of Jock Talk.
Hey, shut the fuck up! I'm doing something.
There you go.
See,
Jazz Herbert.
You missed last week because I gave you guys props.
Did you call me T?
No, I said C. T. I never called you T.
Okay, good.
Anthony, you were out last week, and I know you're never going to listen to the show, so I gave you and Chaz huge props for the Adam Morris episode. It was,
did you enjoy that?
I really loved it. I love when Dr. Adam Morris, PhD, comes on. I always learn something, and it's always fascinating.
Yeah. And you know what? And it was only appropriate that I'd have a Canadian on before I go to Canada.
Oh, yeah. You had a Canadian on, and you
warmed up a little bit.
You're like, he warmed me up.
You're like, oh, this guy's not so bad. I can visit the country.
He blew on my balls a little bit.
My balls was hot.
Your balls
There you go.
was hot is what happened. So check.
I think I said it at the same time.
You did. That's very well timed. Check that out. And there's a new episode where you talk about, what do you talk about? This new last episode.
Some college football stuff, NFL, UFC, Major League Baseball, just sports shit.
Actual sports stuff coming from the Jock, but you got to sign up to our fan club, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Okay, let's get on to the review. Of course, we are going to give you a full spoiler review of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Here's your spoiler alert.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
And holy shit, what an amazing year for Spider-Man fans. We got tons of shit that came out. You had them dusted in Infinity War, spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Then we had Venom. Then we had the amazing Spider-Man PS4 game, and now this first animated feature. This is the 7th Spider-Man movie from Sony, their first animated feature for Spider-Man, and the first focusing on Miles Morales Spider-Man. Miles, created by Brian Michael Bendis, Sarah Pichelli, I don't know how you say her name. She's the artist.
I think Pichelli, yeah.
She's an amazing artist. First appearance, Ultimate Fallout #4, August of 2011. Into the Spider-Verse, it came in hot. It was 100% Rotten Tomatoes for a long time when the reviews came out. It's at 97%, average rating 8.8.
Wow.
Out of 10, holding strong. Not bad at all. Box office-wise, the movie was made for about $90 million. It's a nice, long 2-hour animated feature. It opened at $35 million opening weekend, which is what everyone estimated. It is now at $42 million domestically, worldwide, $62 million. I think the movie will have legs. I think families will come back. I want to see it again, but it is going up against a lot of stuff coming out. But again, Jumanji kind of did the same thing exactly a year ago, and that thing just kept making money. But it does hold the record for the largest debut for an animated movie ever in the month of December. Universal Sing had that tally at 35.2. This thing made more, just a little bit more, breaking the record. Cast and crew for this, directed by a bunch of people: Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, Rodney Rothman. Writing credits, you got Phil Lord and Lord and Miller producing. Shameik Moore playing Miles Morales. Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, Mahershala Ali as Uncle Aaron, Brian Tyree Henry as Jefferson Davis. You got a couple of great cameos. Lily Tomlin as Aunt May, Zoe Kravitz as Mary Jane, of course, John Mulaney, Spider-Ham, Nicolas Cage, Spider-Man Noir, Catherine Hahn as this version's Doc Ock, Liv Schreiber playing Wilson Fisk, and another crazy cameo, Chris Pine as Peter Parker. We'll get into that. And then some more.
Wait, that was Chris Pine?
In the beginning. So
Yeah.
they
Blonde Spider-Man.
the blonde Spider-Man was Chris Pine. Now, we're going to start with our opening thoughts and we'll get into this movie. I know everyone is holding their breath. Everyone wants to know what Rug Boy thought of the movie. Rugs, I'm not going to tease them any longer. You are going to go first. Give us your opening thoughts. Here's your cue.
Wow, there's so much pressure. All right, I gotta kind of let me take a breath here.
Boy.
All right, so before I start the review and give you my opinion on it, I just want to tell you where I'm coming at this. All right, so the movie comes out, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, I hate Dan Slott, and this movie is based on Dan Slott
Dan
stuff. So
Slott
I
concept.
already have that in the back of my head.
Some of
right?
Dan Slott
Yeah.
stuff.
Loosely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Second thing is that when I saw the previews, I'm very sensitive to this animation stuff, and I noticed the frame rate being very choppy, and I was like really kind of like taken aback. Why would they make that choice? So I was like not too cool with that. So I was going in with that, and then what happened was the movie came out, and then everybody and their mother, there was not a person who had anything to say about this movie that was anyway negative.
Apparently the greatest movie ever.
Yes,
All
it
time.
was sailing at
Perfect.
100%, green lights, no one's stopping them. Like, this movie is the best thing to ever. And so the minute I see that, I instantly become cynical.
Okay.
Because I'm like, all right, this is bullshit. Like, there's not, like, nobody has anything to say. Why?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
is this? No one say, if this was a different movie or a live action movie, would there be anything? And I'm like, well, obviously there's a hype going on. So I have to now I'm even more tuned into this movie than anybody else would be. Because now I'm like, it can't be perfect. How can it be perfect? How can it be a perfect film? So, I went in and I did enjoy the movie. I thought it was a good movie. Is it a perfect movie worth that's got a 99% rating on Rotten Tomatoes?
97.
Now it's dropped because one guy had the balls to make any kind of a complaint about it.
Nothing is perfect.
All right, so yeah, so is this a perfect movie? No, I did enjoy it. I was spellbound by it in a lot of ways. I have a list of shit that there's. What happened is I might have to see it again.
Yeah.
Because I got pulled out of the movie when things like rubbed me the wrong way. So I end up thinking about what I just saw and then I missed something.
Sure.
So I might have to see it a second time just to make sure that some of these things were addressed. But now look, people shit on Amazing Spider-Man and some of the other Spider-Man movies because they don't stick to the story and Peter Parker isn't categorized correctly and this and that. You could say the same exact thing for this, pretty much, because they take liberties with the story. They smash three separate things together that didn't happen in the comics at all. They change Miles Morales' from being a guy who doesn't get involved until Spider-Man dies to a guy who's there when Spider-Man dies and was trying to help him. And there's the level of guilt. Miles gets kind of his whole character is always in question whether he should be doing it at all. So, there's different things that happen. Obviously, in the real comics, Miles's mother dies at the hands of Venom.
Uncle Aaron's a little bit different in the comics,
Uncle
also.
Aaron. So there's a lot of differences, and even the way the whole way he gets bitten by the spider and how the spider comes into his life. It's all to serve this one story, which is fine, but that's every other Spider-Man movie that people have complained about.
Yeah.
So for them to give this one a pass and complain about the other ones, I feel like that's hypocrisy.
It's because it's animated.
Yeah. So the animation allows for a lot of things. Like when you watch a live action movie, you expect it to be deeper. When you watch an animated movie, you allow things to just slide by. So there's a lot of things that happen in this movie that I'm like, no one questions it. No one questions the fact that Gwen Stacy comes back a week early.
Oh shit!
And just,
look,
she shows up at. She
explains that.
She shows up at Miles' school, but doesn't think to go help Peter Parker at all.
That's a good point.
Okay, so I mean, the whole movie wouldn't have happened.
But you liked the movie.
I do. I'm just saying it's not beyond being criticized.
Oh, no, it isn't.
It's
And
not beyond. Yeah. It's not 100%.
Sure.
It's. I would say I give it a good grade.
Well, we'll get into the
movie,
details.
and I would see it again. Yeah,
and
but I'm just saying it's not beyond being criticized.
Okay, all right. Well, that's.
But don't you think that that's weird that everybody, not one person, had anything to say?
It is a little bit odd.
And I just dropped one casual thing that you're like, whoa, that is.
But they're letting
huge plot hole.
It's getting a pass for a lot of these plot holes, but some of it can be because it's animated. Some of it can be explained. All right, we'll get into the nitpicks. Anthony, I know this isn't your. Kind of movie. I know this is not your jam. Made you watch this for the show.
You did. You made me watch this.
Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
I was happy.
Oh yes, thank you.
I don't think I'll ever be like enamored with watching an animated film at this point in my life, but I did enjoy this. I enjoyed this. The last film that I really enjoyed this much was like Batman Under the Red Hood as far as animated.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
Or maybe the Dark Knight Returns. That one.
The animated adaptation.
Yeah. But this was awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the film was really charming. They played with the origin a little bit, but I'm not so tied to the Miles Morales origin that I'd cared enough. I thought Miles was great the way they portrayed him. I liked how they kind of subverted your expectations, such as when it's this big moment when he gets bit by the spider and he just flicks it off like it's not a big moment.
Yep.
Because it really isn't.
Yeah.
You got bit by a spider. It's not the biggest thing in the world. I like that. I like that he goes on the roof and then decides to go on a smaller roof. So
that was great.
I liked that stuff. I liked the way they kind of did this Peter Parker. That's kind of how I imagine Peter Parker at like 36. Like kind of like a loser.
Still a loser with a gut,
kind of cynical, and he lost. Like if you were a superhero all your life, you probably wouldn't be able to hold a relationship. So I like that this like Miles kind of reinvigorates Peter to get back to being Peter.
Yeah.
And then overall the animation, my criticism of the animation was that at some points it looked like I was watching something in 3D.
Yeah.
When I
they
wasn't.
had that blurry thing going.
Yeah, that was kind of distracting for me. But for the most part, really, I thought the animation was really good. I'm not an expert by any means, but the fact that they were able to almost seamlessly put the way they were animating everyone, including Gwen, Peter, and Miles, and then intersperse a noir-looking character, a manga-looking character, and a Looney Tunes-looking character, and it still worked on screen, was kind of amazing for me. So overall, I enjoyed everything. I thought this movie had a ton of heart. I enjoyed Fist's motivations. I enjoyed Miles' dad. I enjoyed every character. I enjoyed the Prowler.
Yeah.
I had one more thing I was going to say. Well, fuck.
Well,
I forgot what I was going to say. That's about it. Maybe I'll say more later.
You will. You know what I'm going to say, listener, if you've been listening to the show for any time at all. Holy shit, I love this movie. It's that theme of subverting.
Did you?
I did. I'll tell you what I liked about it real quick. The theme of subverting expectations was like throughout the movie. Of course, the animation. I don't think I've seen any animation like this. I love the pop art, the graffiti art. I love the 90s hip hop fucking soundtrack and the fact that
I love that soundtrack.
They had Biggie Smalls and they had some Black Sheep playing. The music was great.
There's a bunch of artists on there that you wouldn't typically like.
Post Malone,
just so you know.
And the music was really good, dude. The contemporary music they played throughout it. The song at the end titles was great. I love that Spidey has a fucking Christmas album. That was also great. It's an amazing intro and origin to Miles Morales. Yes, Ruggs, I see how they changed a little bit from the source material, but I think it kind of improves it, cleans it up a little bit to give you a nice, good beginning point for this franchise. I mean, it is a comic book.
But you don't think it's cooler to get the way that he kind of sees Spider-Man die and then he kind of doesn't do anything and then he puts on I just feel like the way the comic worked, it had so much more poignant. This was like kind of like he instantly was like he was instantly like knighted by the old Spider-Man.
Well, I mean, I will say it was a little bit confusing too in the beginning because you didn't know. You're like, you see him, he's blonde. What Spider-Man is this? So, it starts in the Ultimate Marvel universe, and that's Chris Pine, the goody two shoes, cleaned up, who's got like a fucking bat cave, and he's just a very good Spider-Man.
I also think that Miles in the original comics is more like down to be at this school and down to do the science thing. And
this one he did not. He was not.
And now, for some reason, he's anti these people. He doesn't want to be an elitist scientist. Where in the comics, he wants to be a scientist, and he'll do anything he can to be more into science.
And in the cartoon, he's smart. Yeah,
I think they were trying to make him like the opposite of Peter in terms of he doesn't want to be that. What he wants to do is fucking draw or do graffiti. Like that's his desire.
So that's a great point because that's kind of what I love about this movie is the original.
And his parents are like, no, you have to be smart and go to the science school.
The original Miles Morales is a little bit of a Peter Parker clone. He's a little bit of a copy. I like how they made this guy his own character.
And he's smarter than Peter. He's like could read at
he's just as smart.
Like 3 years old.
Yeah.
He's like a genius. Like an intellect to be reckoned with. Like, you know what I mean?
I think I understand that. I think what they were trying to do, and I think that's the overall theme, is they didn't want to make him like Peter level smart because the whole point of all these Spider-Men was that anybody can be Spider-Man.
Yes, you could be wearing the mask.
And it some way, anyone could wear the mask as long as you have the right morals and the right, moral code and all that stuff. You could wear the mask if the spider bites you. I think that's the overall theme. Because they all have their like Uncle Ben moments, but they're all in different ways.
In every universe, you're going to have an Uncle Ben moment. Let's talk about the multiverse concept. Ruggs, did you think this was a good way to introduce this? It was just five universes.
I'm so pumped to hear him talk about the multiverse.
They picked five multi-universes.
Was it?
Yes, it was five. So it wasn't all of them. It was five specific, and it tied into the story. I thought it worked well. What'd you think?
I mean, it didn't really bother me, the multiverse thing, because they really didn't use it. Like, these characters that were from the multiverse didn't really do much except for Gwen and old Spider-Man.
Yeah, the three...
They really were just decorations. They were, like, really just there to, like, add a little pizzazz.
You kind of didn't even need Noir and Spider-Ham and Penny Parker.
And the thing is, like, Miguel O'Hara was the Hispanic Spider-Man back in the 90s.
Yes.
He was he was already pre-Miles Morales.
Yeah.
But
that's in the future.
But, yeah, he's from the future.
Yeah, the future.
But, like... Yes, but he did come into continuity every once in a while.
Dude, that post-credit scene, I was like, oh, shit, yeah, bring it.
And then they fuck it up with that weird-ass fucking pointing at me.
The 60s meme of no.
They were doing that meme, yeah.
You stop pointing. Now you're pointing at me. Dude, that's the other thing. The references, the Easter eggs, the kind of callbacks.
There was a lot of great ones in this movie,
So great. And that's what Lord and Miller are really good at, because it kind of reminded me of like the Lego movie and Batman Lego, where they just have all these Batman references.
Weren't Lord and Miller supposed to do Han Solo?
Yes. So it would have been interesting. What kind of a...
I don't know. I don't know if I would have liked that either.
I think they have a handle on animation way better than maybe live action.
Imagine the Solo movie.
It would have been
like Solo.
It would have been really weird.
It would have been goofy.
Think about it. Like, they're getting away with this shit just because of the medium. If they were to do this in a real movie, no one would take it seriously. It would be like watching 21 Jump Street. Like, you can't really take that movie seriously. It's a comedy. It's not really, even though they tried to make it an action comedy, like, you still don't really think about it as like a movie that,
That's also the beauty of this, is you can kind of do anything and it doesn't really matter, but you can have a lot of fun and you could show people things they never saw.
The beauty of the animation is that you can try, and in this case, I think they did well for the most part, to put a comic book on screen and put those, put the word panels and put the multiple panels.
They should have done that more. Yeah. I feel like they only did it a couple of times and then it went away.
Right after he got bit, that shit started popping up, and you saw the other things I liked. Why?
But it came and went, though. It never came back. The word balloons didn't come back. They onomatopoeied it every once in a while.
They did have onomatopoeias once in a while. I loved him figuring out his powers. I like that there's a Peter there, because some of my favorite parts was like older Peter Parker actually explaining how to whip, how to send out your line, double tap to release, how to unstick.
That was actually a really good scene, too.
That was great. So, like, here's how you swing, you get the rhythm. And then I always wondered, like, how do you unstick yourself? And I love how they dealt with that, where it was just happening. And Peter's like, just relax your fingers.
Yeah, that whole thing where they're in the lab and the Kingpin's outside and you could clearly see him through the glass.
Yes, and he's like,
like, there's a lot of great funny moments in the movie. Like, this movie, I did enjoy it. Don't make it seem like I didn't enjoy. I really did like this movie, but I'm just saying it's not beyond, like, just like every other Spider-Man movie where you can pick it apart. You could totally pick this movie apart. Just people are choosing not to. That's all I'm saying.
I got to throw in too that I enjoyed. Again, I thought the whole movie was charming. I thought there was a lot of heart. I got to throw in that I enjoyed the fact that Wilson Fisk, although a bad person, is not trying to destroy the world.
He just wanted his family.
He just wants to get his family. So I thought that was cool.
I found that very cool. I found the way that he was designed was cool. It was a callback to the
Sienkiewicz. Yes, he looked like a Bill Sienkiewicz.
Some people didn't like that. I actually, I thought it was pretty cool.
I was kind of whatever on it.
Yeah.
Here's the other point I was going to make and then I forgot and lost my train of thought is it's very shocking to me that Sony can release Venom 2 months earlier, and then 2 months later can put in a film like this where it's clear, even though they did change the origin, it's clear that the people that made this, that were involved in this film, knew a lot about these characters. And they love
Spider-Man.
And they like these characters.
Yes.
Where the people that made Venom, I don't know if they know anything about fucking Venom.
That's a good point.
But this is the same fucking studio that makes both of these films.
I think that they actually know what they're doing and they're making choices and it's deliberate. So, some of these things are either happening because it's destined by the studio, or maybe they're accidental and they just got really lucky.
Yeah, maybe
I don't know.
Accidentally hired the right people for this one.
Yeah, but I want to get to the animation because I want to get this out before we move on from the animation. I love animation. I watch it all the time. One of the things that I really hate about animation is character design.
Okay,
and when they fuck up, like making characters that you want to like look kind of, there should be a beauty in the character design. Yeah. Like The Incredibles is an example. The Incredibles are one of the most ugly design characters I've ever seen. Everybody looks hideous. Yeah. There's not one, I don't know, they're doing it on purpose, but they're overdoing it. Like everything is overly cartoony and whatever. Like Miles Morales, Spider-Man, even though he has a gut, everybody pretty much, except for some of the bad guys that are drawn a little bit more cartoony, everybody looks really cool. Like Gwen looks great. Everybody looks great. Like they suit the comic book, like out of a comic book page. It crosses over very well. So I'm going to applaud that more than anything else. Is like the character design was spectacular.
I loved all Miles'
The colors
costumes.
were spectacular.
It's a gorgeous movie.
A lot of it is done. But the thing is, by the same token, they kind of step all over it by blurring these things, making these things like look blurry for no apparent reason.
Say, I do agree with the frame rate jitteriness in the beginning. It was a little. Also, I saw the movie in 3D because that was the only showing that was available at the time I wanted to go. So at times they do the thing where it's like off-registered colors on an old comic book where the blue plate and the cyan plate didn't meet. But I wasn't sure if that was like the 3D or if that was actually in the movie.
Yeah,
there were a lot of scenes where the background was
where
a little
you notice
off.
it so much that it distracts you.
Yeah,
you shouldn't notice it.
It felt like I was like, should I be wearing 3D glasses right now?
Yeah, they could have toned back a little bit.
I don't know why they made that choice. That's what frustrated me while I was watching it, and it pulled me out of the
Have you seen anything like this animation before, Ruggs?
What, like animation that's done with like
CG
with this type of
just the overall, like the way they decided to do this is this different than most?
It's different, yes, because it has like this kind of like sheen over it. But it's basically like you watch Troll Hunter on Netflix, it's the same fucking animation.
Oh, really?
Basically. I mean, but it's just Troll Hunter is smooth as glass, or you watch like anything, any animated, like you watch like How to Train Your Dragon. It's the same shit.
What did you think of them doing integrating the manga and the Looney Tunes and all that stuff?
I mean,
did that work for you?
Yeah, I thought that was cool. I thought it was fine.
And has anyone ever done that? Trying to get
I
a
mean,
gauge for like what if this was groundbreaking or not.
I mean, there used to be a TV show called Drawn Together where they smashed
they
all
had
these
the different
different things.
styles.
They just didn't
Yeah.
do it in CG.
Not
but,
in this
I mean,
big feature film.
yeah, but I mean,
Dude, Spider-Man Noir I thought looked amazing.
I mean, Japanese animation does it all the time. They put like if you watch the Godzilla anime, they have 3D.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then they make it look
cel-shaded
like an
shit
anime.
and then hand-drawn shit.
Yeah, I mean, like all kinds of anime has this. It's not like a new thing. I mean, you can go on Netflix right now and see like about 20 different shows that have CG with 2D drawn over it. It's like a thing that's been going on for the past 6 or 7 years.
The little glitches every time the universe glitches. Some of those fucking made me jump, and I love. The storytelling was great. I love in the beginning where you're seeing the different versions of the logos and you're kind of getting set up for this multiverse and how things look in different universes right away.
I mean, I think they did a great job. Art direction. The only thing that the only thing that I have a criticism on is number one, the frame rate thing and that blurring thing that they kept on doing. That was very
sometimes
jarring.
the frame rate and blurring worked, and sometimes it didn't work. There was both parts. So
yeah, I agree with that.
But it does.
Here's something that I want to point out because you guys brought up Wilson Fisk.
Yeah.
And this is one of the other reasons that when in the movie I'm sitting there and I'm scratching my head and I'm like, why is this happening? So Peter Parker and Mary Jane are together, right?
In the Miles Ultimate Universe.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the other one, in
and
the
then
real
he dies.
Yes.
And then
He dies.
and then Spider-Man dies.
Yes.
Yep.
And Mary Jane, for some reason, goes to Wilson Fisk's place and hangs out. Like she doesn't know that Wilson Fisk is a piece of shit.
Yeah, that kind of was weird. I was a little
She was
thrown
at
off
the
by that. I was like,
gala.
why? I was like,
Fisk Gala.
Does Peter? I thought Peter would have told her that.
She knew.
He definitely did.
Why would she go there?
He told her. He tells her everything.
Yeah.
She knows she was Spider-Man since day one, practically. So
That
I
was
don't know. I was like, why is she even there? She should have. It was just weird. So that threw me off too. I was like, why are they doing this just for the
how
scene?
did they explain how Gwen got there early?
So she says when she explains what happened that she was blown into last week, literally.
Oh, that's right.
So she came through the same.
She was at the school before Spider-Man died.
She came through the same time bubble, but it sent her
But
a
it
week
kept her-
ago.
Yeah. So she came through the same one, but then she also traveled. So she.
No, I thought it was that they were firing up the machine for the first time, and then I don't know.
No, you're right. I think
said I was
Ron is right.
blasted
It's-
into last week,
So what
literally.
it was is when that she not only crossed dimensions, but then she also time traveled
Yeah,
backwards. That's what it was. I gotcha. Okay, yeah, that
So
makes
she
sense.
was there, and so what she decides to do is she decides to somehow instantly enroll herself at this hard school that Miles had to get a voucher to get into.
didn't see
And she,
that
for some
there.
reason, gets right in because she's white, and then
Oh shit.
doesn't save Spider-Man
That
or
did
help.
cross my mind. Not all the saving, but I was like, how'd she get into school?
Because because her Peter Parker
cartoon, don't
died,
question it.
and but that school's also from the comics.
I did enjoy Miles and Gwen's dynamic.
Yeah, they had
they were great together.
I also enjoyed the Marcella Ali, the way he played the Prowler. I thought that guy was cool as
He
fuck.
was great.
Uncle Aaron
He was
very
great.
good.
He crushes it every time.
His swagger, as the kids say,
Yeah.
or his swag,
Yeah.
as the kids would
Yeah.
say, comes through even in just voice acting.
yeah,
Holy
right?
Fuck.
It's,
and the
sexy.
music choice they made every time
Yep.
he came on as a Prowler
Yeah.
was like jarring and like very, very appropriate.
Well, he does the whole touch moment with teaches him the shoulder touch, which
Right.
comes back, which that was hilarious. The voice acting was amazing, dude.
The voice they did really good. I mean, even the moment when his dad is outside the dorm and Peter can't talk
Yeah.
to him because he's been covered,
Yeah.
and his dad just like trying to like tell him he loves him.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh man, this movie's got a lot of heart.
There was a
I also felt weird about that scene because this is a guy who has no compunction about embarrassing him in front of
why
a
wouldn't
school
he
that he's
break,
just starting
break the
at.
door in?
Yeah, all of a sudden now he has restraint. Like I don't know. Like so his brother just died. You'd think he'd be an emotional mess and want to see his son and whatever.
The
But it was weird.
That's interesting. The difference with this Uncle Aaron in the comic book Uncle Aaron is in the comics. Uncle Aaron is the reason he gets bit by the spider, but that's because he was.
They never explained the spider, by the way.
It just shows up in the comics. Aaron was burglaring a Oscorp place, and that spider crawls in his bag. Miles visits him, gets bitten by the spider, but in the comics, Uncle Aaron knows that Miles is Spider-Man and uses him
to do crime.
He takes advantage of
It's
him.
so awesome.
And Miles finally realizes what's going on. And Miles, spoiler
alert,
is the one who has to take down and kill his uncle, the Prowler, because it just gets too far.
Yeah, I think that when they did it, I feel it was, I don't know, Imran, you try to say it was better, but I think this is a lot sloppier.
I mean,
yeah, I kind of would have. They kind of.
This one, he protects his secret identity.
I mean,
when he dies.
The uncle dying is kind of like his Uncle Ben moment.
Right.
That's the real Uncle Ben moment for him.
Yeah.
I would have preferred, though, in retrospect, I would have preferred Spider-Man dying as being his moment to like, okay, I got to step up, and him having this awesome relationship with his uncle over maybe another movie, and then but having to confront him as Spider-Man, and then seeing that like it did in the comics, because that's what it was happening. Like he had a great relationship with his uncle up until he became Spider-Man, and then he realized who his uncle is, and he was like, holy fuck.
Although that moment,
I have to confront this man that I've loved my entire life.
That moment when Miles finds out that the Prowler is his uncle, like that was really well done too. I knew who it was. I was like, oh my God. And like, cause just the expression and the emotion was amazing.
What about the Doc Ock reveal?
So they revealed Doc Ock to be a woman, Olivia Octavius, voiced by Catherine Hahn. And there are some fun lines when Aunt May is like, oh, great, it's Liv. And she's got like pneumatic, like squeezy arms and not mechanical arms. I thought it was all right. I didn't mind her.
So she's Penny Parker?
No, that's the other spider person. That's the manga spider person, Penny Parker.
Oh, who are we talking about?
Doc Ock, the female.
Oh, right. Female Doc Ock. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either. I guess it was a big surprise because they had not revealed that. I thought it was all right. I didn't mind that Doc Ock in this alternate. It's the alternate universe. They have the alternate Green Goblin.
That's fine.
Goblin
I mean,
Hulk.
I was just like, whoa, that's interesting. That's new.
Here's a question though: if
Aunt May is basically she's Alfred,
right. She takes him into the lair, and it's a badass Lily Tomlin. Here's another little plot hole though, thingy. If Wilson Fisk just wanted his family back, right, and Doc Ock was helping him to get control of this device, but if she knew that people who come through don't survive, like why is she helping him anyway? You know, why is she helping him do this?
Yeah,
if she knows they're all going to die. They're all going to disappear, disintegrate eventually.
I was about to say that.
So I'm not. Look, I'm not. I see these flaws. I just don't care because I had a fucking great time. And it was a fun movie.
What about how do you feel about the whole like redone trope of like believing in yourself and you'll get your powers? Like you'll go from not being able to do shit to all of a sudden being amazing.
Well, he practiced.
And like when did he practice? He was Spider-Man for less than a day.
The same day, later in the day, he did at the end. He got really good at the end.
He gets good because he starts singing that song to himself, right?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, so
no,
that trope,
the other one.
That trope is like
that's the Post Malone song.
That's like a almost a Ray level growth of like all of a sudden not knowing shit and all of a sudden I know how to use the Force.
At the end, he is very good as Spider-Man. But like that final battle scene in the interdimensional space, that was pretty fucking crazy. I love how they use like the Kirby crackle.
That was cool.
Yeah.
With like the blood all around, like it seemed like blood cells and all this shit.
The big round cells explode.
Like
that's the Kirby crackle.
Doctor Strange level with the planets
platforms and things and
Kirby
trains.
Crackle.
I was saying the cities kaleidoscoping on one another.
They could have done a little bit more of the multiverse, but when they would glitch, it totally fucking got me. Who was your guys' favorite non-Miles Spider person out of this?
Oh, it's got to be Old Man Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's old.
Jake Johnson
He stole
almost
the show.
Yes, he almost steals the whole show.
You know what, though?
In this.
I wish that he would have had a Queen's accent. You know, it'd be nice if he had a New York accent.
He had the New Girl
like,
Jake Johnson accent.
Yeah, he just sounded like the guy from New Girl.
Yeah.
But he did a great job. He was funny, so he was fine.
What an interesting way to make Peter like single again. Like he was married, he had a relationship, but everything just fucking fell apart. Now he
didn't want kids.
Yeah, that was the difference. That was weird.
He didn't want to put kids in danger.
Yeah.
Where the other Peter,
and she was like, "You're all like heartbroken."
Yeah. So that's why when
the other Peter is also like 10 years younger.
Right.
Like
I think he had a great arc.
Yeah.
I did too.
Great character arc.
I mean, quite honestly, that's a pretty easy trope to steal and put into movies because it's the old guy that is like down on his luck, and then he meets the kid that puts him right back into
gives him
like,
hope again.
puts him back into his.
Yeah, that's another trope. Yeah, it's full of tropes.
That's fucking Up. That's like everything. That's like every like old man, young kid movie.
But I love like when he did run into MJ in the party where everyone's all the waiters were dressed as Spider-Man, which was kind of funny. That
I enjoyed
that moment was great.
I enjoyed
what about
Spider-Man
the goober?
I love the goober. We gotta fix the goober.
Like, that's another trope right there. Like just stick this in and everything will be okay, and everyone's problems are solved.
I've run into these plenty of times. I just call him a goober.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I like that Spider-Man was wearing sweatpants at the beginning.
He's like, "Are you wearing sweatpants?"
He's so fat that he has to cover him with sweatpants.
Like that part where like where it was clearly a like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Where like Miles is trying to save him or get him out of there or whatever, and they're slamming into everything in the street and the train and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and where he's on the ground, he's like, "Thanks, New York." People are just stepping over him.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, I don't know if that would have worked in the live action.
A lot of this stuff wouldn't have worked in the live action, which is why it was great. And it was great to see New York the way they showed it, very, very lovingly animated. Brooklyn represent. I think Jake Johnson, Peter Parker had some of the funniest lines, like when Spider-Man Noir showed up. He's like, "Where's that wind coming from? We're in a basement."
That's hilarious.
Which was really funny.
So what color is blue?
The monitor bit where he's carrying the computer. He's like, "Goodness, we don't need this. You just need the computer." That whole sequence was fucking great. And like you said, the Miles reaction to the bite got a big laugh.
I got a big laugh in the theater.
No, they had some definitely great laughs in this movie. There was some definitely good comedy writing, very good moments in the when the roommate comes in and they all have to hide, but that was in the trailer.
Yeah, we saw that in the trailer. And that's
funny.
not, I was like, is that Genki? But that's not Genki, because Miles and Genki are like childhood friends. They've known each other for a long time. They try to make it like Genki. Getting back to the other Spider-Man, I got one thing I gotta address from the nation. I don't understand all the hate for Spider-Ham. I do not agree with this. You guys make it sound like it's the most egregious thing ever.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I mean, what did he really add?
But he was a small part. It was funny. It was
like Rocket Raccoon is like, he adds something.
Did Spider-Man even help do anything?
It's just a John Mulaney voice.
Yeah.
That's all
the
it
Mulaney
is.
voice is hilarious. But it's a nice contrast, to the other one.
It's just this little silly thing.
Yeah. It doesn't really add much to the movie. Whatever. It's just there for variety.
Variety.
That's the thing. People are pumping it up. So people are like, "Oh, Spider-Ham! I'm living my best life because I saw Spider-Ham."
I mean, it's a parody.
I'm like, give me a fucking break.
It's not
dude.
even. I do see that. That is a little overblown. I will agree. I saw some of that.
It's just like when people just pour all of this fucking love onto something, and I'm like, oh my god, it makes me so cynical. Like immediately.
What do you think of the Stan Lee cameo in this one?
It was nice.
That was good.
Did you notice that?
What did he say again? He was a comic book.
He was
like
Spider-Man owner. Yeah, where he's like, "Is it going to fit?" He goes, "It always fits eventually."
Oh yeah, that's nice.
And then he's like, "No refunds, kid." But did you notice? Because it's animated. I believe they said they slipped in Stan Lee in like every crowd shot, like on the subway.
Oh really?
In the different, like there were Stan Lees when they were on the floor, people were walking over him. The guy with the dog was also Stan Lee. Like he was in this, and then they dedicated to him. That was nice with the quote.
I noticed the cell phone with all the like Brian Bendis.
Oh yeah, all right. Let's get to
Sarah
some
Michele.
Easter eggs. The fucking cell phone contacts. Yes, they had B. Bendis, S. Pichelli. There was an S. Ditko on Uncle Aaron's. We talked about Chris Pine. So
what was the significance of 42? Because I have my theory.
I'm not sure. It is the same number in the comics that
it's the same number of the spider
in the comics. It was Osborn was experimenting on multiple spiders, and it was the 42nd spider that actually worked.
Okay. Because what I was thinking, and this might be taking the connection a little a leap, but 42 is Jackie Robinson's number in baseball, who broke the color barrier.
I saw that too.
And Miles Morales.
Yes.
Although
I like that.
Miguel O'Hara was also a minority.
Yeah.
But Miles Morales would be the first black Spider-Man.
I think they maybe did that in the comic books also. Like they probably telegraphed
But the number
that.
42 popped up a lot in this movie in different places.
I saw it more than once.
Yeah, not just on the spider. It was in random places.
I like the Comics Code Authority.
That was great.
Approving the movie to start.
Which is, goes back to the whole them starting this thing and censoring comics and how Stan, put one out without it. the Chris Pine Spider-Man in the beginning, is this is the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man? Like, they seem to hint, he did the dance, he did the train, he did the upside down kiss. This is like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And I heard initially they were thinking about having Tobey. They should have got Tobey to do that first Spider-Man instead of Chris Pine. That would have been amazing.
He would have to make fun of himself.
Oh, he doesn't like doing that?
For doing the dance.
He can't make fun of himself?
I heard that he's a huge dick. But like, anyway.
Really? Oscar Isaac's playing Spider-Man 29. Also, great cameo. Lots of spider suits. That was pretty cool to see all the spider suits from different parts of his history. You saw a lot of actual comics that they used. They're all the universe had its own version of the comics. But then you saw real comics that were from this universe. The Spidey cereal and Popsicle. The Popsicle was hilarious because I've had that fucking shitty Popsicle because it was Spider-Man.
What now? If you've ever read the Miles Morales Spider-Man, you know that eventually Spider-Man reappears.
Yes,
right.
Yes,
and he's Ben Reilly.
I think it's the clone that comes back.
Right, now. It's very curious that Ben Reilly usually sports blonde hair.
Yeah, that's the.
So do you think in the future they did a switcheroo, and the real Spider-Man will show up in this universe?
You know what? I was thinking the same thing when I saw the blonde. I was like, "Who's blonde?" Ben Reilly, the clone, is blonde. So they could bring him back
because there was no reason to give him blonde hair at all.
I love that because I think that would be great. And I mean, but they did
because in the Ultimate Universe he ended up coming back.
But they did the same moment in this movie where Miles is at the grave and Peter Parker shows up behind him and he freaks him out. You know, Tombstone. It was really cool to see Tombstone from the comics, and also I think there was a reference to the rose in somewhere. It was like in a phone or in a list, which is Wilson Fisk's son. You saw the fucking spider buggy from Amazing Spider-Man 141, which was great. And then that spider cycle was a toy from the 90s series.
Yeah.
That was fucking great. I have some fun tidbits about the universe number 616, obviously. If you're a geek, that's the standard Marvel universe. So that's the Peter B. Parker universe. 90214 is the Marvel Noir Spider-Man universe. 1610 is the Ultimate Universe, home of Miles Morales and Ultimate Peter who died. 14512 is Penny Parker's home, and 8311 Larval Earth, home to Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. Spider-Ham. I also found out that October 14th in New York, Mail Bloomberg officially declared it New York City Spider-Man Day. It's Peter Parker's.
What do you do on Spider-Man Day?
It's Peter Parker's birthday, and it's a holiday. I don't know. Take the day off. You put on some jammies and you swing around. Okay.
I'll do that.
So did you see Donald Glover also in there for a split second?
No.
Tying it back. When they were at Uncle Aaron's place, on the TV was the episode of Community where Donald Glover has the Spider-Man pajamas.
Oh, shit. I didn't see that.
It was on the screen real quick.
No clue.
So that ties it back to like Homecoming.
Maybe even too blurry to see.
Might have been too blurry. But look, before altogether, man, I can't wait to see this movie again. I can't wait to own it. It's just fucking.
I'm definitely gonna watch it. As I said, there's a couple of moments where I was like thinking about what just happened and I missed the next thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I was waiting to see if you guys had any answers for me, but you guys didn't. So I guess I didn't miss that much.
No,
but I definitely want to see it
I
again.
need to see it again at flat, not in 3D, to see what actually was blurry and what wasn't.
I'm gonna watch it on my TV. I'm gonna put Cinemotion on to smooth out all the jutteriness.
Turn Cinemotion off. Tom Cruise will come to your house.
Let me say one thing. Well, I've said multiple things, so I'm going to say this thing. The reason I think I enjoyed the movie or any of these like movies that are like this animation style, or not this animation style, but either animated or superhero, is when they have a lot of heart in it, and there's moments in it where it's quite charming, and it shows that the people that created it care.
Yeah.
So in that sense, this movie had a ton of that, and I'm almost willing to overlook some of the continuity flaws because there are some, and it's a lot of it's because they smashed together like 3 or 4 different things for a movie that's only is 2 hours.
Yeah.
So there's bound to be that you're weaving together storylines that aren't meant to be weaved together for a movie. So there's bound to be some plot errors and some things where you're scratching your head.
Yeah, like Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, like the whole movie of Batman versus Superman.
But like unlike Batman versus Superman, this movie has a lot of moments where you're just like, oh, that's
the
that's
people
nice.
They clearly like the characters in this movie.
That's true.
Zack Snyder doesn't like the
He
character.
doesn't like at least half the characters.
Yeah, you're right. You could see the love, the respect for the characters, and respect for the art in this movie, and it is what sets it apart. Let's talk about the future for a second. What should the sequel be? I don't think we need more Spider-Verse. Amy Pascal has confirmed that the sequel which is being written by Beck Smith, will focus on Spider-Gwen and Miles. Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales. Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales romance. For the next one, and then they have a spin-off that's going to be Spider-Gwen, Cindy Moon Silk, Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, which we didn't even get introduced to those two Spider-Women. But do you, it's like, what do you do in the future? Do you keep bringing people back from different universes? I would be ashamed not to see Jake Johnson Spider-Man again also.
I would assume you do, just because you've built the foundation on the fact that there's multiple spider people in this universe. Mm-hmm. So the multiverse and the different Spider-Men and women that are altered in slightly different ways is the whole appeal of this.
And there's a shitload of more spider people that they could do, like 5 at a time. They could do a bunch of movies if that's what they want to do.
Oh my God.
What would you do? What would you do for the sequel?
I can't wait for Ruggs to watch this.
Do you want to see, what do you want to see? More Miles, obviously. This is his movie.
I would like to see Miles carve out his own path without any other Spider-Man. Why do they have to fucking keep...
Well, you got to have the Gwen Stacy romance.
More of these spider people. It's ridiculous.
And then Spider-Man 2099 is going to pop in because he's got a thing.
Yeah, but he's legit. Yeah. Like, he had his own series and he was legit. And I love the costume. I love the character.
Great. This is what I would tell Sony is ditch the fucking spin-offs and put more effort into these animated movies. They cost less. They're less of a risk. They take longer. You can do whatever you want. When you say
spin-offs, you're saying live action spin-offs, because you just mentioned a spin-off with
I'm talking about ditch the live action spin-offs.
Okay.
Because unfortunately, Venom made way too much money for them to do this. But I would wish they.
Does Miles hook up with Spider-Gwen?
They do have a little bit of a thing.
Oh, they
in the
do?
comics, yeah.
I mean, it was like a nice little charming thing they had.
Well,
in
it's
this
not
one.
Spider-Gwen. It's the Gwen Stacy, or I forget.
Oh yeah, it's the Gwen Stacy that I don't know.
Yeah,
but this is Spider-Gwen.
Yeah, they had a nice.
But she called herself Spider-Woman. She didn't call it
right. She never said Spider. She was like, "My name is Gwanda."
Well, we know her as Spider-Gwen.
Gwanda. I'm South African. That was kind of funny. I don't know why she wouldn't tell him her name. That also confused me. Like, why don't you just tell him your name is Gwen?
Her Ben moment is watching
Peter. And another thing
die.
is that
who cares? Yeah, okay, Peter died. Correct.
Like the thing is that old man Peter is 616 Peter, right? Or supposedly, right? Yes. So upon seeing Gwen Stacy alive, he should fucking immediately go into grief mode. He should have lost it.
Yeah, he goes into grief mode seeing
Mary Jane, but she's not even dead in his world. She's divorced.
No, he sees her.
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh fuck." Yeah, you're right.
Gwen didn't mean
another thing. I was
to
like,
him.
why didn't he
acknowledge it?
Yeah, why didn't he acknowledge? He should have immediately started bawling out even more, because Gwen was the one that was his first love, and he killed her.
He didn't even bat an eyelid.
Maybe it didn't happen in this.
Maybe it didn't happen in
He should have had like at least a double take, something in there. But anyway,
that's a good point.
Maybe he was like, "Shit, I'm 36, and this girl's like 18 or 16."
I'm over this. No, like, that's when he was that's when he loved her the most. When he was that age.
I completely agree. He should have. There should have been a moment with him and Gwen too.
Like, imagine the girl that you had a crush on just appeared that same age. You'd still be like, "What the fuck?" Holy, it doesn't matter. Because in his mind, he's going back in time. So like, what are we talking about?
Let me ask Rugboy one more question, and I've probably asked him before, but I want to hear it again. So, what don't you like about everyone being like? There's this being so many spider people now, not only in the comics, but maybe now on screen.
I think that they don't. What newness did it bring other than the characters themselves, the people? Like, Spider-Gwen isn't interesting. Gwen Stacy is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Miles Morales is interesting. The fact that he's a spider character is not.
And Peter Parker's interesting.
Yeah, Peter Parker's interesting because he is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now adding more spider people, now you have no variety in the power set. Everybody's got the same looking costume. It becomes very bland.
But they had different. They had different
So
powers.
one of the cool things about Batman is that, Batman and Robin is like, even though he's doing a lot of stuff, that he looks different, he acts different, he has a different attitude. But now you got Batgirl, you have 20 Robins. Now you got like too many Robins, and now it gets old. There's the variety goes away, and not only that, but it pulls away from the originality of the character. Like the minute you have the really cool thing about Wolverine, there's only one fucking Wolverine.
Right.
Now there's like 10 Wolverines, and like now there's it used to be one Hulk. Now there's 20 Hulks. So it's like then that character's not special anymore. I don't know. It just for me, it's like I
mean, the way they brought in the
point.
multiverse in this is a lot less convoluted than how Dan Slott did it.
Well, they
in
definitely
the comics.
haven't jumped off the deep end yet.
Yeah.
on the animated side.
Yeah. But
they didn't spend a lot of time with Noir anyway.
No, that's a shame. Is those three didn't really have much to do, and I would have loved to see more Noir.
They didn't. I mean, they used those three as just like change up flavors just for a second. It wasn't like they were going to dive into the character history of those three.
That was about the main three.
They had enough to tackle
because
with the other three.
Let's be honest. Like Gwen Stacy is not new. Jessica Drew was Spider-Woman long before they had a Spider-Woman forever.
Yep.
Right.
And then they had Arana. Then they had Mayday Parker. They had Spider-Women they had so many. They had Arana was like, she was Hispanic, right? And then there was another Spider-Girl that was, so they've thrown
something
this at
about
the
Gwen
wall.
Stacy though, like she's in a punk band and her Peter
because
Parker
it's
dies.
now. That's the only reason.
It's contemporary.
She's
because they released it now.
It got hot. There's something.
They made Gwen Poole.
Yeah.
They're just doing it now, and it's catching on because people are like, no, we don't. We want this. They're putting it out. Like Marvel's trying to do this now, like and make a concerted effort to like show people that they're doing it. So they're pushing it.
Miles Morales is the correct. It's a great example of the right way to introduce a new person into Spider-Man, a legacy character as Spider-Man.
Well, they don't have this anymore, but they had the luxury of introducing him in the Ultimate line, so you could have that distinction of this is a different universe. This is all happening in.
So
is Silk popular, Imran?
A little bit. That she's got some like diehard fans, but I don't think a lot of people know who she is.
So cosplayers like her.
Love her, but she's an interesting
Spider-Gwen,
character.
I know, like that's. I haven't even been reading comics, but I've heard that. Yeah, that's a huge thing.
Yeah, and Jessica Drew Spider-Woman used to be big back in the day.
Yeah, she was the OG, right?
Yeah. She's been around since the 70s.
They changed her costume.
Her costume kind of sucks.
Yeah. It's that weird red and orange.
They gave
black.
Gwen like the costume that this generation is going to catch on to.
Her costume is sick,
the white hoodie.
and I think that's why people react to it. Is the fucking costume? The design is sick.
I mean, if you compare Spider-Gwen to Spider-Woman's old costume,
it looks so dated. The Spider-Woman looks totally dated.
But Spider-Woman had the black costume before Spider-Man did, remember?
That's true.
Did she?
So that was why he got the idea from
Spider-Man,
her.
Yes. Spider-Man copied Spider-Woman's costume. She had the fucking sick black costume. She looked cool.
Here's what happened. They were in Secret Wars, and his costume got damaged, and he had seen Spider-Woman's costume, and he's like, that's cool. I need a repair. What do I do? And she's like, hey, there's a machine. He was thinking about her costume. He goes to the wrong machine. Not the costume machine. It's the symbiote who takes the form of what he was thinking of. What he just saw was Spider-Woman.
This is a cool costume.
In the black,
I don't like the gold, the yellow and red one.
No, that's a horrible 70s fucking costume. The black and white Spider-Woman Jessica Drew costume. And Jessica Drew is a great character, too. The thing with Cindy Moon is her and Peter just want to fuck. They have like this pheromone thing. That could be hilarious. Yeah. They are strangely... They are sexually attracted.
Because they got bit by spiders?
Yes, they got bit by the same spider.
Oh, so Cindy Moon Silk, they make her look like Elektra, kind of.
A little bit. She just covers the bottom of her mouth, and her hair is flowing. But she was bitten by the same spider after the spider bit Peter.
There's a lot of fucking spider people.
There's a lot of fucking spider people.
I know there's no need for Dan Slott to make more. There's already a million.
All right, look, let's rate this movie.
It's like, give me a break.
Give me a score, and then we're going to rank it. But before we get to the rank, I'm going to break down what we're ranking. So let's just start with a score. Ruggs, what would you give this movie?
Ooh, shit. Oh, my God. It's not 100%. It's not like a perfect 10, as much as the world would like you to hype you into thinking that. I think it's a serviceable movie. I'm probably going to give it a straight 8.
Okay, Anthony?
Oh, I was going to go with like an 8.2, 8.3.
Okay. My initial thought is like 8.75, like just under a 9. We're going to get really specific.
Jesus. All right.
Almost 9.
I thought Amron was going to give it an 11.
Wait, what did you give it? Amron?
Like a 8.75, 8.8,
Yeah.
just under a 9. Just under a 9.
Just so, because I
Out of 10.
follow movie, I'm a follow movie Bob. He said this was the best Spider-Man movie.
He gave it
since Spider-Man
fucking
2.
4 stars.
He gave it 4 out of 4 stars. I saw
Roper
that,
also gave it 4 stars, and that's like a perfect movie.
Yeah, everybody gave it 4
gave
stars.
it 4 stars.
Everyone
Nothing
loves
is a perfect movie. Let's rate this movie in Spider-Man movies based on, I'm just going to go what I love, my favorites. But here's the deal. Here are the 7 Spider-Man movies from Sony. Sam Raimi, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Mark Webb's Amazing Spider-Man 2, then you got Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. However, honorable mention, however we're going to figure this out, we have to throw in there the MCU Civil War appearance.
No, you know. Those aren't Spider-Man movies.
The Avenger Infinity War appearance.
Those aren't
That's from
Spider-Man
Marvel. And then
movies.
the Spider-Man video game that came out is an amazing version of Spider-Man, but that's a whole
doesn't
different.
count.
No, that is.
No, don't. Okay, the video. Let's make rules.
Okay,
The video games don't
out.
count.
Okay, video
The
games
other
count.
2 movies don't count because they're not Spider-Man
They're
movies.
not.
They're just, he has cameos in those movies.
All right, so we're back to the 7 Sony. Who wants to go first? Either give me your top 3 or put them all in order, whatever you want to do.
I'll start at the bottom.
Okay.
All right, with Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
Spider-Man 3.
Okay.
Okay, Homecoming.
Oh, snap.
Homecoming, right?
Yep.
Then there's, what do I have left?
You got 4 movies left.
I got Spider-Man.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. Wait, did I say Spider-Man 3 yet?
You did.
Yeah. Then I got Into the Spider-Verse, and then what do I have left? Amazing Spider-Man.
Wow.
And then Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I'm trying to still figure this out.
Wow. I got you. Okay.
I like Amazing Spider-Man is my second favorite Spider-Man movie, and then I think not because of the story, because of the action and the portrayal of Spider-Man is so good in that. So,
all right.
Bad Peter Parker, awesome Spider-Man.
All right.
Great action, fucking high stakes, good shit.
How would you like me to rank this and run? 7 to bottom to top or top?
Let's go bottom to top.
All right. So 7, I have Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
6, I have Spider-Man 3. 5, I have Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
4, I have Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
3, I have Spider-Man 2 Into the Spider-Verse. Number 1, Spider-Man 2.
Wait, what's your top 3?
Spider-Man 2 Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man.
Oh, interesting. Okay, man, this was really hard. Mine are kind of similar, but I pulled a fast one. At the bottom, number 7, same Amazing Spider-Man 2. Everyone puts that at the bottom. 6 for me, I'm going to put Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay.
And at 5, I'm putting Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
At 4 is going to be Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
So here's the top 3. Number 3 is going to be Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Because for me, Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 are very closely tied.
Sure. It's almost a dual story.
Yes. For me, those 2 are almost fucking perfect. Now, here's the thing. I was so invested in those movies even before it came out. The first Spider-Man, actually, I think is huge. It reminds me of Superman 1979 in a lot of ways, where that movie, they were like, you've never seen someone fly.
It was true to the comic books in a lot of ways. It's just that they made a misstep with that whole Green Goblin shit.
However, this was the first time you saw someone swing through Manhattan on a thin web live action. That was it. That was something I've been wanting to see. So that reminds me of Superman 1979, where you saw a guy fly for the first time. I was into this like I was into Batman 89. I knew the story. So 1 and 2, I still think are amazing. A lot of people are going to say Tobey Maguire rubs them the wrong way, doesn't hold up. But it's a monumental, those 2 movies, for where the movies came after it.
Where do they rank? Where do you got them?
Spider-Man, I'm going to go Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, top 3.
I still got to say that Amazing Spider-Man has the most wisecracky, but
it does have a good Spider-Man.
Like the Peter Parker Skater Parker doesn't work at all.
Peter sucks.
Yeah,
Peter.
But I fucking hate that. But I do like the Spider-Man and the action in that movie.
I might flip Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3 actually, because the costume in Amazing Spider-Man is pretty good. Also, action's good.
It's okay. I don't like this costume. I like the costume in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, the costume.
That's the best costume that's ever been
in the
done.
second one, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the series, because it had the nice cloth. He just had the lanky look of a Spider-Man, too.
He's great as
Andrew
Spider-Man.
Garfield.
I agree. It's just that plot.
God, Amazing Spider-Man 2 was on the other day before I went to see Into the Spider-Verse, and I was like, I'll throw this on. What the fuck? I watched maybe like 40.
Jamie Foxx ruined that
Dude,
movie.
I watched 40 minutes. 40. I watched a big part of this movie. There's no fucking Spider-Man in it. I was like, oh my God, I forgot about all this fucking talky shit with I hate Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn.
Yeah, he sucks.
Franco is a great Harry Osborn. Like, he's perfect. And
one
Willem
comment
Dafoe as Norman is amazing in the first
Now that we're bashing Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'll throw in the fact that it's unbelievable to me that the writers wrote in Dane DeHaan as Peter Parker's best friend, best friend, yet there is absolutely no fucking mention of this guy in the first movie at all.
Yeah, they don't seem
and
like...
Now we're supposed to believe that these two men have been best friends forever.
They act like they just met each
What
other.
are we doing?
Yeah.
And they conversate like they've never spoken to each other in
there
their
was
life.
no chemistry there.
It was terrible. Dane DeHaan, very bad.
Was he good at Valerian Rugs? He was only good in Chronicle. Now,
Chronicle was like his
the
thing.
other
And then
thing
like,
about the amazing movies is whenever, Emma Stone and Garfield were on screen together, it was a whole fucking separate rom-com fucking movie, but it really, they got married off of that movie.
their chemistry is good. I did read a review or watch a review on YouTube.
Wait, they got married?
Well, in real life, that's where they hooked up, and I believe they got married for a while.
Oh.
I read a review on YouTube or saw a review on YouTube where if you rewatch some of those scenes, it's just them jibber jabbering about nothing for like a good 2-3 minutes.
They're just flirting with each other.
It was just like Mark Webb was like, "Hey, go flirt on screen for a little bit."
It's stupid jokes that are just like little.
You could see they have chemistry, but if you watch those scenes, you're like, "Wait, where is this
If
going?"
you cut all those
it's just
together,
you two ad-libbing flirting. With each
You're
other.
like, just fucking get over with and let's move on with the story. Where's the Spider-Man? But I got to give honorable mention to Spider-Man PS4 because that is a fucking amazing version of Spider-Man on its own. The storytelling, voice acting, everything.
Did you stick the controller up your asshole yet?
Not yet because I haven't finished the game quite yet.
Oh, wow.
Here's the thing. I've gotten to this part of this game when I get to this with every game. Grand Theft Auto, Halo. Every one of these games, there's a part that
you can't figure
frustrates me, and I start to really lose steam.
You just got to go on the internet.
No, I know how to.
You just got to go on the internet and figure out how to beat it.
I know how to do it, and I did. I'm in this one part. It's late in the game. I did it fucking 15 times. I was like, fuck, I got to turn this off. Like, it's getting to that. And then a lot of these games, I'd never go back after that part. This one, I'm going to fucking conquer and finish this goddamn game.
It'll be worth it.
It will be worth it. It's and it's still uneasy, but it's super hard, this fucking part. Jesus Christ. It feels
like 5-year-olds.
Jesus Christ, you're playing it on easy and you can't beat it.
I got to get a 12-year-old off the street to fucking help me out with this because they'll be better at it.
I can see him luring.
I'm going to give it to my little 2-year-old nephew. Could probably
nothing
beat it.
of it, too.
Yeah.
Being like,
be like,
this
okay, thanks. I was like, thanks. Here's $20. All right, let's get to news from the nation.
News from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation.
It's time for news from the nation. That was a short, wet fart, Rogsy. You didn't. You
I didn't have
a lot of roughage today. We got a couple of emails and a voicemail from our awesome listeners, Ruggs.
Yeah.
Ron Hans wrote in, and I think he would appreciate a reading of his email from Rug Boy. Will you be a good felty and read this for me?
You want me to read something?
Who's a good felty? Who's a good little felty?
All right, let me do it. Can I do it in Ron Hans's voice?
Yes.
I can't.
No, do it as Stan Lee.
Hey, guys. No, I can't do that. I wanted to comment on a couple of things in your breakdown in the Ed Game trailer. The ship that Tony is on is the Benatar. Like Pat Benatar. The Guardian ship given to Peter at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1. The ship that Nebula takes to Titan is a Necrocraft. The same ship's Ronin soldiers used in Guardians 1. My geek OCD felt I needed to correct you on that. So he got so fucking worked up over that. He got it right in.
I wanted to know what ship she was on. I wasn't sure.
Lastly, I watched both Aquaman and Spider-Man this weekend. I have that AMC movie pass, so I get to see all the movies when I want, and he highly recommends it. So Aquaman, spoiler free. You guys commented that a lot of people said it was like Phase 1 Marvel movie. I would say that this is the case as well. To me, it felt like Thor 1 with the color of Guardians 2 underwater. The story was whatever. The action was okay. All in all, it was a fun movie. I'm going to take my son to see it again this weekend. I didn't hate it myself. I didn't hate myself coming out of this movie, so DC is moving in the right direction, I suppose. So he liked it.
That's not bad.
Spider-Man! I thought this was fun. I liked the story, the voice acting. I thought it was a good time. One of the better Spider-Man movies that's been put out there. I'm interested to hear yours and Rug's thoughts as the old Spider-Man fans. Well, you heard it. Hope all is well and keep up the great content. Ron.
I will agree that it is one of the best Spider-Man movies up there. It's up there. It's top 3. For me, Ruggs, was it in your top 3?
It's definitely top 5, yeah.
It was in your top 5.
Yeah.
Anthony, I already forgot where you put it.
I had a top 3.
Top 3.
Yeah.
It's definitely top 3.
I had a top 2.
Right on. Glenn Smith.
You want me to read
in.
Glenn's?
Yes.
Yay. Hey, no, he didn't start with yay. Hey guys, just took my 4-year-old son to watch Into the Spider-Verse, and we both loved it. The story was amazing. I love that Chris Pine Peter Parker was from the Raimi-verse/PS4 game. Stan Lee cameo made me tear up. The midlife crisis Peter Parker from, I assume, the main Earth was amazing. They couldn't have picked a better person to voice him. Jake Johnson looks like a walking midlife crisis. Overall, I give the movie 9 out of 10. I know very little the Spider-Verse comics, but I would like to get some reading material as my son is now a huge Miles Morales fan now. Any recommendations of what I can get to read together with my son? Please do not include anything to do with Spider-Ham.
Why the hate with Spider-Ham?
That shit is ridiculous and
stupid.
And should not have been included in the movie. My son didn't even like him, and he was, I assume, the target audience.
Oh, come on.
Thanks as always, guys. I can't wait to hear Rug Boy shit all over the movie.
Everybody's waiting for Rug Boy.
And you got your wish.
What is the hate?
I actually don't think Spider-Ham was for the little kids. I think it was for like the adults that are like would think that was clever.
Love John Mulaney.
That isn't, and it's an obscure fucking character reference.
I would say just start from the beginning. Get whatever Miles Morales' debut is.
You got to get the issue where Spider-Man dies at the hands of the Goblin.
Yeah.
And
I've made this easy for Glenn Smith. Glenn,
Oh,
there's
there
a
you go.
link in the show notes to it's an Amazon affiliate link, so you will be supporting the show. But it's the trade paperback Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man Ultimate Collection Book 1. It includes Ultimate Fallout 4, which is the first appearance of Miles, and that's the issue where that Peter Parker dies. Ultimate Comics Spider-Man from 2011 1 through 12, and Spider-Man 1 through 5. Quick history on Miles Morales Spider-Man. First appearance 2011. Then he goes on to Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. In this one, this is the one where Peter Parker is dead. Then that transitions to a title called Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man in 2013. This is where Peter Parker comes back alive to him. And then in 2015, Marvel does Secret Wars that smashes all the universe together, merges the Ultimate and the 616 universe. Now, Miles' mom is alive where she had died in the original origin, and they have no memories of the previous reality, except Miles does start to remember a couple of things. Now, in 2012, there's an amazing miniseries that's part of that trade paperback, Spider-Man, written by Brian Michael Bendis, Sarah Pichelli, in which Mysterio is fucking around with a dimensional portal and Peter Parker 616 Spider-Man gets shoved over to the Ultimate Universe, and him and Miles meet. And they have an adventure. They get Mysterio. They come back, and it has an amazing ending cliffhanger where once Peter gets back to the 616, he's like, I wonder what our Miles Morales is up to. And all you see is him Googling, and you see him go, oh my God, and it ends. It continues in the 2017 Spider-Man 2, and I don't think I ever read that, so I don't know what the deal is.
Are you fucking spoiling this now?
No, I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that one, but that is also Bendis and Pichelli.
So now if Miles Morales is now in 616, are they going to meet each other? No,
they know each other now. The 616 Peter and Miles do work. They've already met. They met in Secret Wars.
Has Miles Morales met 616 Miles Morales?
No, there's only one Miles Morales. So I don't know what's going on with that.
So they just get merged into one person?
Yes.
Oh.
That's in that Secret Wars. Peter and Miles meet in the main universe when they get merged.
I do remember reading Secret Wars and Miles. They brought Morales.
Yeah,
Morales
and
over.
it was actually pretty good. And also, Marvel is smart. There is a new series just came out, and I bought it. I was in my pull list. It is the first Spider-Man Miles Morales book that's not written by Brian Michael Bendis. It's called Miles Morales Spider-Man #1 by Saladin Ahmed, writing, Javier Guerin doing the art. And it's a retelling of his origin, sort of. It starts while he's become Spider-Man, and in this, he's
so
like...
they retconned him again?
A little bit, they did. He's like, when I was 13, I got bit, and he's been Spider-Man for a little while, and this is kind of another start of Miles Morales Spider-Man. But Marvel, they tied it into the fucking movie coming out. But Glenn, use the link in the show notes. I'll email it to you.
Yeah, Spider-Man only needed one origin, huh? A regular one.
Multiple. Yeah. Also, I got another link from IGN, Best Comics to Read After You See Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Finally, Matt Miller checking in with his thoughts on Spider-Verse.
What's up, Jock and Nerd Nation? Matthew James back again. Go Brooklyn! Just got out of Spider-Man Into the Multiverse. This movie was pretty awesome. I don't know about best Spider-Man movie we've seen so far, but it was really, really good. The animation style, very unique, sometimes overwhelming, especially during the fight scenes, but what movie isn't? That end battle scene with Kingpin, a lot of great visuals. All the colors that were happening was pretty cool. Miles' hero moment when he flew into the last battle scene was pretty cool, too. I like that a lot. We got a lot of good memes in this movie. With the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other was funny. The melting ice cream pop, them making fun of Tobey Maguire dancing around, that was pretty great, that they could laugh at that. Dr. Octavia, the girl version, was pretty cool seeing that. Spider-Man definitely has the most complete rogues gallery we've seen so far, and for good reason. He's really popular, so that's cool. Tell me this wouldn't be a cool idea, since Sony did this movie in association with Marvel, quote unquote. If they use this whole multiverse idea and sent Miles into it, and he came out actually a real person in San Francisco with Venom, that's how they could do the crossover. It would be so cool to see that happen. Never will, but totally cool to see that happen. Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen, that was really awesome. I liked her a lot as well. I really am into superhero characters that are female, that are badass and can handle themselves. So she was pretty cool. I wouldn't mind seeing that movie with her and all the other girls. So anyways, this movie was dope. All right, guys. Anthony, hope you're back. If you're not, I don't care. Anyways, keep it up, guys. Jock and Nerd.
Jock and Nerd. Oh, he gives a little Jock and Nerd. What do you think they'll ever do a thing where one of the universes is a live action universe and Miles Morales is now, you can step him out?
I mean, if this movie makes a shitload of money, yeah, it's on the table.
I mean, it doesn't need to make a lot to be profitable either, because it's 90 million for this, and I don't know, it takes a long time. This is, Anthony, you missed it, but this is the process where it takes a week to do a second of this movie. It took them in this intensive animation process that they're trying to patent.
It didn't need to do all that.
They may have overdone it in a little place.
All of that zipatone stuff that they did. The dots,
Ben-Day dots. They're called Ben-Day dots.
You only see them like very rarely when they do extreme close-ups. It's
I did love like the kind of the lines and the texture and the kind of the print running through, and when it would pop to like real flat graphic. I'll tell you what, this movie inspired me to like do some fun Spider-Man illustrations with a lot of color. Like I wanted to draw Spider-Man when I got home. I wanted to watch more Spider-Man. I wanted to see it again. I wish it was longer. I did kind of love the experience of this movie. So,
well, I love Spider-Man in cartoon form. That's where I fell in love with him in the first place.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong with wanting to see more animated Spider-Man.
If a listener wants a great run through the history of Spider-Man on the small screen, check out episode 16 of the Jock and Nerd podcast, where I take Anthony. Ruggs wasn't even on this one. Remember, Anthony? I played all the clips of the songs and I explained all the Spider-Man, and you just sat there fucking giving me a dirty look.
What are you talking about?
Oh, we're still recording the show. You paying attention? Episode 16.
That was so long ago. That was a terrible episode.
That was long. No, you should listen to it. It's a great episode. Is there a Felty League update? Is it over?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Here's the National Felty League update.
You got to be sending stickers now.
Do we have a t-shirt? I'll send the fucking winner a t-shirt, man. I said I would. And stickers. Do we have a winner?
Yes. So final standings for the inaugural season. Number 1, Matthew Lawrence. Number 2, Chris Williams. And number 3, Roberto Rivera.
Wowie zowie!
Wow,
Matthew Lawrence, congrats on winning the first ever Felty League championship.
Yeah!
You did it, kid. You did it.
You did it.
Send them some stickers and maybe a t-shirt too.
Number 1, Matthew Lawrence. Pick out a shirt from our shop. What size and style and color? I'll send you some stickers.
Let me just make sure that's correct.
Shirt. Matthew Lawrence, don't do anything yet. Just hold tight. Sit tight until we run it by the official judges. Drum roll.
And yeah, Matthew Lawrence did win.
Nice.
It was a tie, though.
Congrats.
Ah,
It was a
shit.
tie with Chris Williams, but
So nobody won?
But I don't know how. I guess they gave it to Matthew Lawrence. Whatever.
Can we
Matthew
get a
Lawrence has won. Chris
judge's
Williams
decision?
2. Roberto Rivera.
Somebody got
3.
robbed. Chris Williams, I'll send you stickers for runner-up. How about that? Matthew Lawrence gets
How about
a t-shirt.
that?
Excellent. Real quick, Anthony, you got any, how was Vancouver? Give me like a 2-minute review of Vancouver.
Vancouver. Very nice city. Beautiful. If you stay downtown's like right on the water. And then in the distance, you can see mountains, which is really cool. They have a cool park called Stanley Park right next to downtown.
Stanley Park?
Stanley Park, yeah. Really nice park. Nightlife is pretty decent. Would recommend going to like Gastown, Yaletown. Granville Entertainment District is like for your your younger area. So
like toddlers?
Yeah, good food. Lots of fucking 30% Asian out there, so a lot of fucking
really?
Asians. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot of good Asian food, a lot of good seafood, good steaks. Quick story, so it's legal to smoke weed over there.
Yeah.
I live in a state where it's not legal to smoke weed. So the most jarring thing was going to the airport upon departure, seeing big signs that explicitly say, don't fucking bring weed. It is illegal. You will get prosecuted. It's full extent of law. And seeing people smoking the last of their joints outside of the airport before walking in to check in.
So the tip to me is if you want to go and get high for free, just walk the airport and see if you get a hit off people's dubs because they got to throw it away anyways.
Yeah,
you
let
can
me
walk
get that.
up and down the terminal and get lit for free. Great travel tip from Anthony.
Yep.
Oh.
Vancouver, though. Good spot. And Canadian dollar, the exchange rate is nice. It was like 25% richer over there.
Nice.
Did you see Supergirl or The Flash or Black Lightning or
I
Arrow?
did not. I did not.
They live there, apparently.
I did not see them.
That's where they're from.
I looked up in the sky.
Van.
Vancouver.
Vancouver. We said you were
City.
chasing the Van Cougars in Vancouver.
No, there was no
Van Cougars?
cougar chasing. No.
Nice.
Although you definitely walk in there and it's jarring because the drinking age is 19, and especially at some of these places, you're like, wow,
whoa,
these girls are young.
You got to fucking card the girl before you can talk to her.
I mean, they're legal over there, so it's not even like
19.
you need to card her, but it's just like, this is kind of weird.
Wow. They're just
Sounds
cool.
better and better.
Yeah, Canada just sounds like a fucking fun place. I've always wanted to visit Vancouver.
Vancouver's like, and it's not like, I mean, it's like I said, 30% Asian, so it's and very diverse. Like lots of different languages being
How many
spoken.
brown Indian people there?
A lot of them, yeah, a lot
Nice.
of them, all driving taxis because there's
Of
no
course.
fucking Uber.
There's no Uber.
Yeah, no Uber. And the other thing was like, there's not a ton of people there with that typical Canadian accent. I didn't notice it as much. So
it's just like American accent or no, or
it's just
what?
like
a Midwest.
Everything was just mixed because there's so many different cultures there.
Yeah, it sounds like a very international, eclectic, fucking.
I mean, I definitely heard it on
city.
a few of the whites.
Would
but
you go back, Anthony?
I would go back in the summer, but it's not like I have any urge to go back anytime soon.
So what's December? How cold was it?
It was like 45, 50 degrees.
No, that's not
So
bad.
it wasn't
It's
bad, but
comfortable.
it was
Yeah.
the rain. Like when we got there, it rained all day. And it rained all day when we left. In the 2 days in between, it didn't rain that much, so that was nice, but it's still like very overcast.
Well, that's
it's like
like
Seattle.
Right, that's like Oregon and Washington and
Yeah.
Eugene and Seattle.
So
It's always
it's
fucking
the same
raining.
thing.
Yeah, same.
Every
temperate
time,
climate.
another funny thing to me was every time I told someone I was from Chicago, they would go, "So what are you doing out here?"
Oh,
and I'd be like, they're like, "Is it for work? Like bachelor party?" I'm like, "No, I'm just here. I'm just visiting." They're like, "Why?" No one. In fact, I had one person go, why are you here? This is an extremely mediocre city. So
Really?
Everyone that lives
Jesus.
in Vancouver, have a little fucking pride in your city. Because
Like
I thought
they
it was
all-
cool. Like, I would never question anyone that visits Chicago and be like, why?
No,
Yeah,
right.
well, yeah. I mean, of
That's
course, you
Chicago.
come to New York. Yeah,
Same
of course,
thing.
you're coming to New York.
Right.
What else would you do?
So
But
they
they
want
were-
to come to Chicago.
No,
instead.
it wasn't that. It was just,
Yeah.
they're
Like,
like,
why would you come here?
They're like, why would you come here?
So they got
I'm
a
just
little
here
bit.
to check it out.
I think the running thing was that like the weather, like this is the wrong time to come, but everyone was like, why? And I'm like, why not? You know, people
I
don't do
heard
this.
great
We don't
thing- yeah.
travel.
I heard great things about that city. I don't know why they'd be so down on their own.
Yeah.
In fact, they want to pump up their tourism. That's the imposter syndrome, where you don't think
They're
you're
just
fucking
playing
good.
it. They're just downplaying it, you know?
I guess.
Canadians, were they all polite? Let me ask you that.
Were there any assholes?
Yeah, would you find any assholes?
I mean, I saw some people get into some fights in the club and get kicked out, but no one was an asshole to me.
It was a polite fight, honestly, right?
People were pretty polite.
You go. No, you go.
No,
you
you,
punch
please,
me.
you.
I'll punch you first.
Honestly,
don't thank me, motherfucker. You thank yourself.
Honestly, I didn't notice them being more polite than anyone else, but I do notice how polite Canadians are when I'm in Vegas, if that makes sense.
Right.
But when I was there, I was like, sure, they're nice, I guess.
They're very polite.
Yeah, I guess.
After you.
Yeah.
Right on. All right. Well, good.
All right, so
yeah.
Let me button this with the Hellboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Hellboy budget, first one was $66 million.
Okay.
All right, and it hardly made $60 million.
Oh,
back.
shit. Wow.
I'm sure it's made its money back with
Yeah,
video.
Yeah.
The second one cost more.
Yeah.
They spent $85 million on it.
Okay.
And it made 75.
Oh, shit.
So they didn't make money back. So Hellboy's not a good bet.
No,
really,
it's
for
not.
box
I wonder.
office
I don't
money.
know how big do you think this budget it is? Probably
Got to be at least 100.
You think it's
I'm
100?
gonna say it. Yeah.
No, 80 to 100.
90 to 100. Yeah.
So that they may not make their money back. They haven't yet.
I mean, the difference now, 2008, iPhone just came out.
Yeah.
And people were not really getting fucking marketing rape like they are doing right now, where they're
Right.
just fucking forcing it down your throat. You know,
sometimes Mortal Engines, that doesn't help. The marketing has to be smart. So that really is
yeah,
where
but
this
people
movie.
know Hellboy.
That's true.
for the most
That's
part.
true. That's true. Hellboy is a little more recognizable now, and people have read him. Was there a cartoon also?
Yeah, there was a cartoon, but it's been on Netflix too for a while. For
the cartoon?
No,
The movie?
The cartoon was on there, and the two movies were on there for a while.
I just love Mike Mignola's fucking artwork, man. I love his style and his deep black shadows and
I got deep black shadows.
Deep
for you.
blacks. I got your deep blacks.
My balls was hot.
Rugs, where can the people find you online?
You can find me online at Really Rug Boy. I got my followers are dropping like bird shit.
Oh no! Why?
Yeah,
Are you not doing anything that inciting?
He's not
anything?
being controversial or even the mildly bit interesting.
I'm trying to get controversial again, but no one's biting on it. I'm saying weird shit. No one's taking the bait anymore.
Well, give him a follow. Listener, here's a couple of ways to support the show. If you are shopping, use our affiliate links. Go to jockandnerd.com/Amazon and /Merchoid, where you can shop and we'll get a little commission and it costs you nothing. Merchoid has amazing geek sweaters, gifts, toys, and Amazon. You know Amazon. You're shopping on Amazon right now. Next time you go, visit the website. There's banners there, or just type in jockandnerd.com/Amazon. Another way you can help us is just by telling a friend. Share the show, post it,
Spread
get
the
more
geekery.
listeners, spread this empire of stupidity. One listener at a time. I am determined to grow the show IRL. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's a nerd.
We'll catch you next time.
Did you lose any followers from the bot purge from Twitter?
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, they got rid of a bunch of bots.
That's good.
So all those hot Russian ladies, I guess, were not real.
Those ladies with the million numbers next to their name.
Wait,
Yeah.
those aren't
And
real
one
people?
follower. Oh wait, they
Yeah.
don't like me.
And they just have big, scantily clad
Yeah.
pictures of.
I have to delete some tweets real quick. I'll be right back.